Hi Divine Rebels, Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart readings here, and today we are doing an erotic reading. This is seeing what the person's erotic fantasies are and the sensual fantasy that they have with you. Okay, so this will be 18 and up. Just gotta put that disclaimer out there, and don't tease me too bad, y'all. Okay, I'm shy and private, but at the same time I'm all about, everybody being fulfilled, both romantically, sensually, sexually, as part of the health, all that goodness. We got some little red hot cinnamon hearts out here, okay? Not just for Valentine's. We have some seashells to choose from. We got this blue candle that is out of shot, mostly flickering away. It's Cancer season. Happy solstice. Yes, it was Indigenous Peoples Day today. Not that those things are associated with this video, but yes, shout out to that. This will probably be going up on Saturday. I think it's actually already technically Saturday, so the 22nd here. But it applies whenever you are watching it. Definitely, you can even choose one for yourself, because I feel like, a lot of times we're in denial of what we want or like or need in general and in the realm of sensual pleasures. Another thing you can do is check Mars in astrology. Check your 5th house, your 8th house, and of course Venus plays into these things as well. And the whole chart can be read towards things that show your erotic stylings, but particularly those points. So go ahead and book a reading. I tell y'all, I do all of it. I do it all. I will have a more concise menu up soon when I relaunch a website. We still have Venus and Gemini right now, which makes these kind of topics the perfect time to discuss them, but it also makes me very tongue-tied. You'll just have to bear with me. So getting into it, we have juicy piles of cards over here, and we have 6 options. Yes, dare I say 6 options to choose from, and we're gonna start naming them off. We have the tan shell, we'll call it. We have the ring shell. This is actually a ring there. We have this little pink one. I should be showing them off. Let me show them off. Here is your tan shell option. Here is the ring seashell. Option number 2. Number 1's trying to get cozy over there. Number 3 has little shells inside of it, and it's like a faint pink color, so we call that the pink shell. Number 4 will be the white shell. It just has a little smudge of tan, but very smooth. Yes. Number 4 is the angel wing shell, and number 5 is the black shell. It has a lot of little black markings and colorings on it there. All right, and little spikes. So those are the options. 1 is the tan shell, 2 is the ring shell, 3 is the pink shell, 4 is the white shell, 5 is the angel wing shell, and 6 is the black shell. The decks that I'm using will be linked down below, as will the email for you to email for a personal reading, as will the song choice links and all of that information down below, and also timestamps. So let's hear the chit chat. Okay, give some kind of feedback, even if it's just some eyes looking, or a heart, or a steamy fire or something. Okay. Emoji response for those who are shy. Scorpios, I know you don't like to leave a trace, but could you at least leave a like? All right. Let me know that you like this video so I know if I should do some more. Now I have a really cool series that I'll also have up soon, and I've already debuted a pic of it on my I always say Snapchat, I don't use Snapchat, my stories on Insta, so that will be up as well soon, and they will be monthly reads. Well, not technically monthly, they'll go by seasons, like Cancer season, and they will be for all zodiac signs. I might do it by element, but yes, new developments behind the scenes. Stay tuned. You've just barely had a taste of what we'll have here at Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart, and some things that we've already done that y'all might have forgotten about or not known if you're new. So welcome new subscribers. Let's get into this. Let's get into it. I know you're chomping at the bit. Here we go. I have to keep them in order so I don't mix up the order over here. All right, for those of you who chose number 1, which is the tan shell, Ooh, what juju do we have? See all that seashell dust? That's why there's always dust here. It's not always the incense. Let's see what we have over here. What are their erotic stylings? We have the Seven of Pentacles, Vision, Saturn and Taurus. Make sure I get that in screen for you. We have the, let's see, we have the Four of Wands, Four of Fire in this one. Upside down, Venus and Aries. Upside down, y'all. Reversed. I am a tarot reader, I swear. Five of Cups, which is Mars in Scorpio, reversed. And we have a Visionary, the shadow aspect, selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. What is this style over here? What are we getting into? All right. And then we have the Ten of Swords in the moonlight. Out in the moonlight. And then we have the High Priestess reversed. In how many ways can you belong to love for the first time? Reversed. This is the Tarot Sutra. Okay, and we'll have a few more cards we'll get into, but that will be when it comes to the fantasy with you. So first, let's see, what are their erotic stylings as a lover? All right, this partner really seems, or person that you're interested in perhaps being your erotic partner, seems as though they don't often get their vision off the ground. Like they might have a hard time fully envisioning what they want or making it practical. I feel like they might wait a long time. This person could even be older than you, or maybe past the age that you think they should have experienced certain things, but they haven't yet. So there's a little bit of like stagnation that they have, and I think they're very frustrated with that. We have Mars turn inwards here, Mars and Scorpio at that, as well as Venus and Aries. Those are two placements that want to be very direct and bold and extremely sexual together. You know, very on top of things and on the prowl and, you know, handling their business, but yet we have that reversed and internalized. So I feel like this person has huge sexual urge. It's something that's very, you know, kind of ferocious inside of them, and it might take up their energy, because when you don't release or utilize sexual energy, it can really burn you out or make you crabby and frustrated. So this person, people might often be like, man, you just need to get laid. Like, I don't know what your problem is, but you know, so they definitely don't feel like they've checked all the boxes that they wanted to explore by this point. We have Vision and Visionary, which is very interesting, and the High Priestess, a visionary card. So it could be like, you know, sometimes people, you just don't have the opportunity, like you want to do all these experiences and stuff, but maybe it's just never really synced up. You haven't like bumped energies with the right people kind of thing, where you felt comfortable to explore this side of yourself. I think they're very self-protected in the fact that they don't want anyone to take advantage of them or, you know, betray them. I think they've had some negative experiences erotically, or maybe they've been really turned down or shut down in some ways. So even though they internally, they see themselves as someone who, you know, has got all these moves and wants to explore and experiment all of these things, I don't see that they've really acted out on a lot of them, or when they've tried to, like maybe they just, it didn't go well. Like, oh man, I thought that was such a good idea. It seemed so easy. It seemed like it would feel great, and was for the birds, man. That sucked. That really sucked. Selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. So yes, they might not go as far as they want. With Mars and Scorpio reverse, like this person could be into bondage or into things that are seeming like a little bit darker, you know, things that are more possessive, or exploring more kind of with Venus and Scorpio, things that would be a bit more violent. Now, none of this reading is saying things that would be actually violating to a person, or, you know, with outside of consent. Everything in this video is within those bounds, but they might be exploring realms of that to others would be a bit alarming, or to the far edge of experimentation. All right, so I don't think that this person is doing anything that is, you know, illegal or anything like that, but it's like they go to the far edge of what a lot of people commonly would be like, okay, that's too much. And they're like, not enough. I also feel like this person has kind of a desire to pursue things on the edge of pain, or like very dramatic life or death situations. Like when they fantasize, they're like, oh, there's going to be a shootout and I'm going to be the one to save you, and then you're gonna, then somehow we end up getting it on. Or even here with this card, it's like, I save you from drowning and I come in, and after I resuscitate you, the first thing you want to do is jump my bones. Like, that's the energy here, that's the vibe. I save you from, burglars, and you don't get burgled, and then somehow, this tryst happens betwixt us. It's a very dire, intense, I foresee what you can't foresee, I'm Batman kind of vibe. Like they swoop in and save a damsel in distress, or they like open somebody's eyes to the dangers that's around, and just when the terror's too much, they save the day. And then all of that adrenaline is channeled into this intoxicating physical release, this orgasmic experience. But it comes a lot through heat and kind of intensity, fear, aggressive energy that gets worked up. This is definitely someone who could like to wrestle it out, kind of fight it out a bit, do some kind of intense things, after intense workouts, after they might go and do kickboxing. Like they might want to do things that are very physical with their partner, right? So you go and spar or something, and then afterwards they are interested in releasing all that energy together and getting it on. So they have a lot of range with their erotic energy, but it's all very physical, very active, but also it's very psychological. Do you have the kind of psychological endurance? Can you handle, the friction, the kind of uncomfortable sides of things, the pain to get to the pleasure is how they kind of work through their sensual experience. They definitely have stamina with the Seven of Pentacles here, Saturn and Taurus. They definitely look for people who have stamina, but when they're out of practice, it can seem the opposite. That's the irony with them, with this Venus Aries energy, the Four of Wands reverse, is that they can seem as if they are the opposite of this internal energy that they have within. It's almost like how you can kind of be shortchanged sexually before you tap into your Kundalini energy and release and work through all your spiritual and psychological blocks with your sexual energy, and then afterwards you're like this powerhouse. I feel like for them, a lot of them that are the partners you're asking about in this reading for option 1, they haven't really tapped into it fully. They might not know how. Again, this can be coming from past life situations, betrayals, physical body harm, or things that have gone down that weren't too cool in their sexual life. It could be from this lifetime as well. Yeah, I think they take a long time to really see if they're safe with someone. So I think that's the kicker here. Do I feel safe enough to go to these really wild extremes of fantasy and to share that and to go there with them? Now, some of these people, especially when they were younger, they might have tried to explore some of this by just having these kind of partners drawn to them, but who were not actually, safe, but were actually abusive, and that's not the same thing. So that could be where there's a bit of hesitancy that they have, because they don't want an abusive partner, but they might like to have a lot of physicality within the bedroom, which is two different things, and they really need a partner who understands that. Just because you're into BDSM does not mean that you're into being abused in your relationship. Two different things. So I think for them, they might have some they might even be kind of a little bit scared of what they're drawn to sometimes, because they don't know how to do it safely yet, or they haven't found a partner that's safe to explore that with, or they're afraid of it kind of getting out of control. And so they really kind of wait a long time and let it simmer, and it gets very intense internally with them as they kind of try to scope out the right partner to experience this with. Now with the Four of Wands reversed, I'm seeing sometimes they don't want to do like this deeper, darker side of their erotic fantasy in their own home. They might like go to like have fantasies like, I'm gonna go to a like seedy hotel, or I'm gonna go to like a sex club, or I'm gonna go somewhere else to do the dirty. Like you don't you don't play where you do business kind of vibe to them. So there could be with the Mars reverse too, wanting to kind of go away from your current location or residence to kind of experience what you want to experience with this person. I think also too with the Five of Cups reversed, they don't want to have any emotional hangups. They don't want to do anything that's like, they want to work through emotional things and have release, and then it's done. They don't want to feel like there's this like ongoing, I don't know, like, you have to call me, clinginess, all this kind of stuff. They don't want that when they're done with the relationship. Ironically, I just said relationship. I meant sexual interaction, but that's the point. They don't want it to turn into a relationship. I can actually see this person getting attached, but in like a possessive, psychological, spiritual kind of way if they're not careful. And again, I think that's why they wait a long time sometimes before they fully open up to somebody. So I feel like a lot of their partners might have thought like they were just like basic, just very bland, very blah, whatever, like not so much. They just kind of laid there, didn't say much, just nothing to write home about at all whatsoever. But really internally, this person has like a lot going on within. They might even have like 12th house planets or planets in a water house where more is going on internally with their spirit and their emotions, and they kind of dissociate a little bit unless they find a partner that they can truly kind of come out of themselves and engage with and really get into these roles. But yes, this person might like to take little vacations, or maybe they feel like until they go on the road or something, get away from where they live, they don't feel comfortable enough to suddenly have a fling or an interaction. Or you might like go on vacation with this person and be like, oh my gosh, honey, like what was that? All of a sudden you want to tie me up and all this kind of stuff. Like, where is this coming from? And it's because they feel more comfortable when it's not like in their day-to-day habitual life, because they want it to be done. They want to have this experience, release it, be done. And if you decide to revisit it, that's fine, but if they're like installments, right? Like an art installment. Okay, we experienced that, done. If we want to do a similar art installment, that's fine, but this doesn't have to go into our day-to-day life. Yes, we felt things, we released things, we brought up stuff psychologically and emotionally. That's what art does. Great, but we leave that at the art gallery, and now we're moving back on to our regular life. Is kind of how they like to work through things. I do feel like this person's spiritual insight and stuff, like their gifts, they do seem like they're spiritually gifted, but it gets very clogged by their sexual life being clogged. So it's kind of the opposite of kind of the virginal seer psychic image. It's more the side that would benefit through their sexuality to open up into spiritual realms. So if they are a bit stagnant that way, if they're having a problem with clairvoyancy, or if they know they're gifted and they're having blockages, it can be that they're sexually feeling frustrated and blocked. They do physically really embody frustration that may go into other parts of their life, but it actually has to deal with their sexual health. With Mars and Scorpio here, this person can definitely like choking or things around the throat. Mars and Scorpios tend to even just casually with their partner end up like kind of draping their arm and elbow around their partner's kind of shoulders and neck from the back. They tend to do that. Like if they're in public with their partners, there could be kind of a possessiveness that's there that they betray, even though they think they're playing it cool. But yes, Mars and Scorpios usually like some amount of choking, kind of in pain, in danger, asphyxia, something like that going on, especially with the Venus and Aries here. Absolutely, that could be happening as well. Again, it's like, take me to the brink of feeling like I'm not gonna make it. Let's do something, really crazy, take me to the edge. Let's go, let's go down a one-way street riding full blast, in the convertible, and we're gonna get that rush, and then we're gonna have this big sexual experience and laugh at the world. Is this kind of like chaotic adrenaline, go to the edge so we know we're alive experience. So that is their erotic stylings. They are Yeah, they're mostly tied to the psychological connection with the partner. They're connected with the body, but if they could get like a psychological, spiritual kind of connection, not spiritual like too woo woo feeling compassionate, but spiritual more like that see you in your eyes, you know, an erotic energy that you don't know why you guys are erotically connected to each other. They would go for that over anything else any day. They want to feel a little bit in danger. They want to feel like, you know, trouble's your middle name. They could even play out like some kind of things with like vampire or blood or like needles, or that some of them might be into like like scars, things of that nature, burns. It could be hot wax and candles. They just like to kind of take things a little bit to a danger pain kind of vibe. Let's see, I think they're very attracted to faces, eyes, what's going on, like the head, like serving face. If you're serving face and you can get them with that like eye gaze, third eye kind of thing, that's really what gets them more than anything else. Like the body, it's almost like they could take it or leave it. They could do it in the dark, they could do it clothes on, clothes off. They could even, you know, have a range of ages that they would be drawn to if that energy, that vibe of the experience, the emotional exhilaration, you know, kind of primal physical chemistry, you know, that you're putting off, like pH, adrenaline, all of that. If that's syncing up and you get what they're serving that way, or you can kind of seduce them into that and promise them that kind of dramatic, dangerous, good time, then they will want that above anything else. That's like their jam. Yes, so this is how they are as an erotic partner. Now we're going to pull out cards for fantasies with you. Are you surprised? Are you shocked? Goodness, what have we found out? Okay, let's see what we have. Look, what did I tell you? Death rights. I promise I didn't even look at these ones. I think only the first one I saw some cards with, not the first one, the last one, because it would be the bottom of this. Death rights, saying goodbye, formal occasions, honoring life. I promise you, they want to like bring you back to life at the end. You know how some people are drawn to like firefighters or like EMTs because of the whole uniform thing? They're drawn to it because they're like, I saved you from the grips of death. You know, I am death itself, actually. Death is called the little orgasm, you know, is that kind of energy. Oh my gosh, look, literally, I saved you. I saved you. I brought your spirit back into your body. Hallelujah. Compassion, empathy, simpatico, kindness. So maybe for them, that's when they can feel the biggest rush of kindness, empathy, connection, is when things have been super dire, super scary, you know, very much on the edge. We have the Princess of Cups, the costume designer. So they do like to get into that role. They could like to dress up as in costume, but it's less about the costume and more about that urgent experience. And then we have the Ten of Cups, satiety. So for some of you, if you are, you know, on the gender spectrum that is non-cis or that's non-hetero, this person would be into that connection, at least as far as this can say right here. I can't totally determine, you know, someone's whole thing, at least in a general reading. But if you're like, you know, is that something that they are open to? And this, it's saying yes. I am seeing a variety of identifications, of gender identifications and sexual relationships. Okay. Yes, let's see. Okay, we have a few more and then we'll get into it. We have melted chocolate, goodness. Yes, we had to get some chocolate cards, y'all. And we have milk chocolate, child at heart. And we do have the Princess of Cups. The cards we have here for songs, Soldier of Love by Sade. Again, on the edge, on the way. Again, there's that energy of being first aid. Come and call me right now. I'll be on the way. It's Black, Khalid, and oh, who else is in that? I always forget. That's why they're not on the card. And Despacito. I just heard this today, okay? This is the version that I wrote down as the one without Bieber, but you can beep it up too if you want. All right. So this is literally, the songs show it perfectly. They want there to be like this, they're the soldier of love. In this song, she's talking about, I've lost the use of my heart, but I'm still alive, right? I'm still looking for love on the endless pool of the other side, or something like that. It's the wild wild west, trying my best. All right, so totally, you see this energy that they go into. They really want to play into that with you. If there's been separation, if there hasn't, they want there to be like this dramatic either break in the relationship, or they want there to be like this feeling of loss or need or yearning, something that they have to fix and overcome and like warrior back to you. And then you alert them and they're like, okay, I'm on the way. Sorry, I had a little typo, a righto. But then they'll be on the way. Like, call me right now, I'll be on the way, I'm coming, I'm there, I'm gonna save you. This is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna even be in costume. I'm gonna like satisfy every single issue that you've had. I'm gonna fix you up. I'm gonna bring life back into your body. But first, I'm gonna make you go limp. Okay, look, down to the bones, down to the skin. Everything is gonna get some loving, down to the clothes. It's almost like they would even go through a whole process of like, wanting to strip you down, experience your whole body, make you leave your body in orgasm, come back to your body, and clean you up, lotion you up, whatever, and dress you back up and get you back in bed feeling like, royalty, princess in the pea or something. Like, they want to do the whole thing. They do have a weird way of wanting to nurture through all of this. It is a way that they show compassion. And we have the Page of Cups and the Child at Heart card. Maybe they have, some intense Scorpio in their chart, definitely, or something that happened when they were younger that makes them have this urge to like show dramatic affection or intimacy through kind of dire situations. But then you get to the part after all of that where there's the more sensual part, the more heart-to-heart communicative part, which I'm glad to see that they do want to bring it to a deeper intimacy here with the Ten of Cups with you, and bring it into something that's a bit more manageable to day-to-day life, because we just got melted chocolate and milk chocolate, which is good. They're not too out there. So after all of this, very, very out there on the edge of life, the edge of emotions, the edge of your spirit connected to this incarnation, all right? They want to bring it back in and almost bring you to a slow dance, bring you to being able to dress up to go out for a celebration, a night on the town, and have a closer intimacy. Maybe even bring life into this world. There's this energy. They have something with death to life, like the whole spectrum, okay? I'm hearing that bring me back to life. What is that? Evanescence, okay? Milk chocolate. So this is, so they do have an easygoing nature. Underneath all of this, go with the flow, allowing in what I want and letting go of that which no longer serves me. Speaking my mind always serves me well. So there's this energy of wanting to help you through like any issues from childhood. Maybe you've been through some intense, scary things, and sometimes people release that better through sexual nature and going through like sexual experiences, that like that's the way to heal that wound and to kind of soothe those areas and release intensely that energy from our body through like orgasm and by teaching yourself to receive pleasure. This is a person that could be really, really good at that, almost like a sexual therapy, sexual healing. Cue Marvin Gaye. Peacemaker and crowd pleaser, okay. Being practical of mind, down to earth. It says integrity, inspiring others to seek your advice. It says it's equally, while it's important to be there for everyone, it is equally important to set time apart for yourself. Putting yourself first will make you a better friend, lover, parent, or colleague. So I do see this person as someone who is educated about their own needs, even if they haven't had the chance to experience certain things, as we've seen in the larger form of their erotic nature. When it comes to what they do know within personal relationships, they really do know how to help people work through things, find their best self, go to their darkest self and release and grow through sexual experience, and then come back and still feel, valued and loved and happy, and, able to dress up and go out on the town. So they're not going to leave you feeling like, okay, throw some money at you, I paid for tonight, bye kind of situation. They're gonna, treat you very gently and kind. They're gonna be very have a lot of integrity. If you are experiencing new things or willing to try new things with them, they're not going to leave you out in the cold. It's kind of like that no person left behind energy, because they've experienced, probably shaming due to sexual energies, sexual experiences, and just in life, I think they've had some rough patches, if not a hard life, and so they don't really want to shame you. Maybe if your dynamic that you choose for that night is, degrading and shaming, they could do that. But that's the point. They could do that as, this is what we choose in our safe space, and then afterwards take care of you, bring you food, get out, to go on a night on the town, do something that is uplifting and lighthearted, and kind of bounce back and get back to life, and take you out on a nice date or go for a walk in the park. They don't have to condemn you and get you stuck into some role just because of something you wanted to experience sexually. So I think that's really a cool thing, that they are able to kind of go into with you. It says, allow myself to go with the flow and make time for myself. I remember my true essence. And that's what it is. Remembering the true essence. So you can call them up. Okay, they don't mind being a bit of a booty call, all right? Or they're not going to judge you if you call them. See, there's that song, What Girls Need Love. What is by Summer Walker, and she says, girls can never say they want it, girls can never say now, and just how it's hard depending on what you identify with in society. There could be judgments by calling someone up and saying, hey, right now I need to get some, and this person, they're like, no, call me up, I'll be on the way. Okay, soldier can handle it. Soldier boy, tell him. Yes. I do. I see a lot of growth. I see a lot of change and transformation that you would experience with this person. I see someone who, although they like to kind of, like I said, leave it, what happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom, and continue to grow at a different pace in your personal life and day to day when the lights are on. I think at the same time, this is someone that you can take what you have learned and grown through in the bedroom into your personal relationship, and it will really transform and give a lot of character and more intimacy in your day-to-day life with this person. So I think that the relationship part will be a bit slow growing. They really give everyone space to figure out what they want and don't want. In that way, they have a good way of kind of separating their sexual experiences from their emotional relationships, but they can also kind of connect the growth in a very healthy way, if that makes sense. And so that's what they're wanting to do here in this very long, look, you better have some stamina. This is a long fantasy, okay? This is night until the next night, all right? It's like the whole thing. You got to be saved. First you got to be in danger, then you got to be saved, then you got to almost die, then you got to come back to life, all right, with the sexual, what is it, defibrillator or whatever. You can't even feel your toes or your nose. You got to come all the way back. You got to get dressed after your bath. You got to get some food. Then you got to go out on the town. It's a whole thing. Then you got to slow dance all over again. It's a whole thing. It's so much, but it's almost like those indie movies where you meet in and with the whole movie's in 3 days, and it's like the most intense series of events ever, right? That's what they think of and what they envision when they connect with you. This could even be on the road for some of you, or at a destination kind of thing. But yeah, there is a lot of sweetness and kindness and goodness within all of these intense experiences that they want to have on the outskirts of exploration. So if those are things you are also interested in, anything that would be like bondage or experiencing kind of the pleasure pain tandem, things of that nature, this is a person that, from the looks of it here, and you have to try it out yourself, connect with them and communicate with them, which they're open to. this could be a person that you could have that safe space exploring those things with. All right, so that is your erotic reading for number 1. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I did. Is that weird? Just say, leave an emoji. Just leave an emoji, okay? Yes, and I'll talk to you soon. For those of you that chose number 2, which is the seashell ring, hey, let's get into your reading here. Okay, we have certain cards that are for certain things, so let me pull out the correct ones for this portion. So first we're going to look at their erotic stylings, and then we're going to look at their sexual fantasy with you. So their erotic stylings, oh my, we have the 9 of Cups. More is more is more, darling. Okay, happiness, Jupiter and Pisces. Whenever you get Jupiter that has no bounds and Pisces that is literally boundless, more is more. We have student, and it says shadow attributes, arrogance and the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. All right, destructive, not, they want to know, they want to experience, they want it right now, they ain't trying to wait. All right, we have the 3 of Cups reversed. We have the 5 of Wands. Oh, the 3 of Cups reversed says a joyous revelry. That's reversed. And then we have the 5 of Wands upright. All's fair in love and war. Ooh, look at them. We have the Queen of Earth, which is the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the, and that's the sign of Capricorn on here. And we have the 3 of Fire, or the 3 of Wands, which is the Sun in Aries. Okay. Let me see if I can get these in the screen a little better. This person is very indulgent, very hedonistic, very, I don't care whose you are or who says they own you. If I want you, I'm going to have you. They have kind of a lot of, almost a feel of mutable energy, mutable signs like Pisces and Sag kind of energy, mostly mixed in with the dominance of like the cardinal Aries and Capricorn. So I'm gonna get what I want, even if I'm blurring lines, even if I'm stepping on toes, even if you don't think you want me. Now again, I did say, and it will be down in the notes of this video, this is all consensual, kind of legal, not kind of legal, but consensual, legal, respectful as far as that goes. But within the bounds of that, their attitude towards their erotic things is like, I don't care. If I want you, you're gonna know it. I'm gonna come after you. I'm gonna get you. I don't care if my 3 besties are mad because they called first. I don't care if you have an ex-spouse and another spouse that you're currently divorcing and 2 boos on the side already and there's 7 exes. Like, I don't care. If I want you, I'm about to have you. I don't care about learning my lessons. I don't care about the right way to do things. Like, I really don't. I just want to experience what I want to experience. I want more of it. I want more of it, and some more, please. Is basically it. This person can come on so strong. It's almost like they can't stand themselves how much that they get turned on. Like, they just can't even think. They can't work. They literally feel like their body just goes into like feeling so turned on that they just have to like take a break from work or something before they're just gonna jump some random person's bones. Like, this person has huge desire energy. Their sacral chakra might be even too open. Yeah, it reminds me of like what is it, Johnny Depp and the Libertine or something, or you know, like that Casanova kind of energy where they just keep going. The Energizer Bunny over here, they're like, man, I can't even sleep. Like, I am just so turned on. They could have strong earth and fire energy. They could have their Mars in I actually feel like a Mars and Taurus vibe, but they could also have it in Pisces or Sag, Aries, or Capricorn. We also have Cancer here. So there is this like and Leo is definitely, some of these people could definitely be Leos. I think, was it Casanova was a Leo? One of them, Lothario could be a name for this person. So even externally, they might not show it. A lot of you, I think like they have the reputation of being a player, okay? Because this is hard to hide. But internally, they're player central. They're interested in tons of different people, all who might hate each other or be connected in the worst ways possible. They might sit there at work and want everyone in the office in different ways, and it's almost like they get really, really caught up in their fantasies and imagine things that they might never even want to act on, but they don't care. That desire just gets so big. They don't want to be smart about it. This also can go into food. So this person can really go into like indulging in food or drink or other habits because they're trying to feel that big desire aspect of their sacral chakra. They could also really just keep busy, like constantly dating. Now, some of them might totally just, sleep around, be up for anything, always have a story about someone else they just hooked up with or almost hooked up with, or it's almost like they want a lot of kudos when they don't just go and sleep around, because they're like, that took a lot for me. I feel like this person also really has probably lost a lot of friendships or had, relationships break up because of, there being so many multiple parties involved and lines crossed when it comes into dating and sexual connections. Yes, so this person, like, if let's say they are interested in somebody sexually, and that person's like, well, I don't know, I'm, deciding between you and someone else, or, I'm not really committing to either, this person can get very competitive. And if they feel like they can take on the other party, they will stop at nothing, right? All's fair in love and war. They don't care. They ain't trying to be friends with the other person. They could go to any means necessary, within the consent and legality region of this reading, to get what they want. They're gonna do all the low blows, pull all the punches, make fun of that person's sneakers in front of everybody, whatever they gotta do, to get to this person and get what they want. But if their competition is better than them and they know it, this is the kind of person that will bow out, refuse to compete, very sore loser. This person does not like to lose in their sexual pursuits. They like to get what they want, and I feel like they can even go into like a tantrum kind of depression, acting out if they're not getting what they want sexually, or if they're not like trending in the dating circles, things of that nature, or if people are really insulting their sexual hood kind of thing. They don't take that too well. They like to have their way. I get a strong Aries feeling in this reading. It reminds me of a lot of Aries that I know and how they kind of operate. And we do have Sun in Aries here with this Three of Wands. Aries like to be, the hottest thing on the streets. They like to be the hottest thing in demand on the circuits. They want to, everyone to imagine them as a good lay. They want to take on any competition that's out there. They like the competition. They like the head-to-head. They like making people feel a bit small, when they walk by. That's true Aries energy. If they're gonna admit what's going on internally, if you tell Aries, that someone thinks they're better than someone else, that someone thinks Aries is better than someone else, Aries gets, a little ego stroke off of that. So this person likes that. They like to feel like, there was so many options and I won. I got the attention. I'm the boss. I'm the best. Of course, yes, there is Leo strong in this as well, and Capricorn. Okay, all signs that like to be the best at things. Yeah, because emotionally this person can't really handle it if they lose, or if they're not seen as attractive. This person does need to physically feel attractive to others. At the same time, with this Knight of Cups here, they can really let themselves go sometimes. So again, it reminds me of Aries when they go, like a lot of Aries are super, fit and attractive, and when they get into relationships, they can really let themselves go because they're like, well, I already got you, so that part's done. And then once they break up, they're like, they get all mad and they go back to the gym and they have like some of the biggest glow ups ever. this is kind of that energy where sometimes this person is so used to like easily seducing others or getting what they want that they'll, be looking like a little bummish going around, or not really taking care of themselves so much, overindulging, or they can go through like maybe they're going out too much and it's starting to show, and you're like, you come on, you look a little raggedy, your hair's on sideways, something's going on. So this person can, kind of live that rock star life too much, where you're like, okay, it's wearing on you now, or you're, indulging too much in the food and pleasure or whatever. Are you stopping for your health? I would say with this person, with everyone in these readings, health check. But this person, make sure, when's the last time they did a health check? Okay, they really need to be, with all this playing around that they're doing. Now for some of this group, they might be internalizing. It's always, a possibility with energies that this is their internal erotic nature, but they're not expressing it. If so, this person's probably pissy as hell. They probably are, because they don't like to be on the sidelines. They think they're Jordan, right? They're not trying to be on the sidelines. They like to compete. They want to go out there and rub it in. They want there to be some kind of scenario where they have to prove they're, the hotter one. And you very quickly decide that they are, and, come with them. But they love the idea of like rolling up on somebody, snatching someone that you were going to have, and being able to take them. They like the idea of kind of dog walking somebody, coming in the club and taking a boo that was with somebody else, and now they're going home with me. Okay, they have kind of that, put on a leather coat just to show that they're better. They kind of like being a little bit of a jackass. Like they do. They like, it could be some Sagittarian energy. Sagittarians are like, hey, yeah, you're right. But that vibe, like, I'm the bad boy in this situation. Like I'm the badass in this situation. And everyone knows it, and it's okay because I do it so well. Could be that ego energy, like Beyonce, talk like this because they can back it up. Got a big ego. I do feel like this person can be a lazy lover, though. They could. Like, they're focused on them. They're definitely focused on them. They could have Mars in Aries, Mars in Leo, where it's all about what they need to do to get off. It's all about their show. It's all about the spontaneity that they need. And once that indulgence is there and it's done, okay, like, you can figure out the rest yourself, basically. Their partner might be still in the bed needing more, or wherever you are, because this person loves to randomly get into things. You see on the park bench, in the alleyway, like, this person likes to be a little bit gritty, rough and tumble, unseemly places. They might drive Virgos crazy if you're a Virgo placement person, because this person is not caring about, oh, let's stop, clean the sheets, and take showers and iron the clothes before we get back at it again. This person's like 2 weeks later, like, have y'all changed the sheets yet, or have you cleaned up the beer cans around the house? Yeah, they could really go in the nitty gritty and like to surprise their partner at times, where if you're more uptight, you'll be like, oh my gosh, no, here, where, no, like, can we have a bed? Can we have, do you have some sanitary, cleanser to put around here? Like, what are you asking me? And they're like, public bathroom, boom, let's go. Randomly. Or like, you're like, shoot, we're at my auntie's house, and they're trying to, back room, the linen closet, something. They always have to go. And so they don't really learn. They like that. They like feeling like, hey, I'm the reckless youngin', even if they're not. You're like, come on now, you're 65. But you can't tell them nothing. Like, that's what they like in their erotic nature. They want to feel like, they're the hottest thing in the schoolyard, the hottest thing on the campus, and they can just roll in, snatch who they want, and you're getting ready to go live fast times with them. Okay, I want to check this one again, what it was saying here. Arrogance, yes, in the pursuit of destructive knowledge. They might learn the hard way. And I feel like with this group, this might be the crew that they've had some, different kind of STDs and stuff sometimes, because they don't think all the time. They don't think. And you might hear some of their escapades they have and be like, how are you alive? How have you, how do you not have 50 kids? Maybe they do. How have you not been hospitalized multiple times? Maybe they have. They get into anything. I feel like they're not necessarily, incredibly dedicated to a certain scene, like that's their identity, as far as like a sex scene culture. But I feel like they're up for trying things. They want to explore things, whatever's up in the air. Now if they do kind of not in a sexual scene, but in a social scene, they like to be the stars of it. So like, let's say this person's into fashion. They want to be that bitch that everyone desires, that they just kind of, like I said, they like that feeling of, I can walk all over you with my boots. You can't handle me. Everyone wants me when I'm walking around. Everyone's eyes on me, and I can have whoever I want. I know all y'all want me. Haters are just people that are mad that they haven't slept with me yet. They have that kind of attitude and swagger, and so they like to be like number one, first draft pick wherever they are. There is a sporting energy. There's definitely a wrestling here. This person could like to wrestle and kind of extensively, and you're like, okay, are we done wrestling now? Can we stop? When they get going and they're active until you're out of breath. They like to build tension until you're like kind of out of breath and need to go to separate corners of the room, almost like a break in the rink. You know what I mean? You're just going at it. But once that tension bursts, or once they've had their fill, that's when you might be left you're still like, okay, I'm not done making me lose my breath over here. Okay. So I do feel like they can be a bit dissatisfied. It's almost like there's probably some of them, it's like they have some online group chats or something going on about them, where they're like, what's that song TLC? Girls talk about the booty too, right? And it's like basically like, be careful because the girls are talking. They are talking. Okay. They can have people that are talking about them that aren't always so satisfied, but it's like they kind of get people competing to try with them. You know how you feel, you're like, what? You guys are all bragging about being with the same person, because they have such excitement around them, and they kind of drum that up, and it seems fun and fast paced, and maybe they're not as bad as everyone else. Maybe there's other people that are worse off, worse in the bedroom than they are, and they probably will be attractive even if they're not like good looking. There's something attractive about them, about this kind of off-kilter, usually pretty fiery way that they connect with others, and that they just seem to go after what they want. And so people assume that because this person goes after fulfilling their own pleasures, that they can have their pleasure fulfilled with this person. But I feel like quite often they are left disappointed. Yes, they are left disappointed. This person might put on the airs that they like to be with multiple partners, or they might joke a lot about having like threesomes and stuff, but I don't see them very fulfilled when that happens, because they are jealous, and because they do need to have, like, they're jealous of attention. They're not really jealous about like I feel like if you try to make them jealous in a relationship, it wouldn't really work, because that's their game. Like, they're good at making you jealous. They're probably not going to so much let you make them jealous. They'll be like, okay, I'll play that game too, and they're gonna go bring 2 more people into the situation. So you can't really make this person jealous. They'll just end up pissing you off because, and they like that. That's what they like. They love pissing people off. Like I said, very Aries, fire sign, Sag, Leo. They like to get you mad, and then they'll be like, oh, you so cute when you mad. Oh, you mad? They might do stuff on purpose when you're out. Like if they're like, this party's boring, made me come to this stupid party, and I don't even like anyone here. We ain't even turning up or anything. So then they pick a little fight, or they do something to embarrass you so that you're mad. And then by the time you get home, you guys really beefing it. Now you got to do something with all that steam and work it out. And they know that they love it if their partner pulls away and is like trying to not give in to them, and be the mature one. I like they kind of like being the immature one in the situation, and being like, the instigator, and coming just be annoying basically. And then they get like so much satisfaction when the partner finally gives into them and you're having like that makeup sex with them. That's their thing right there. So they love to be able to push someone into kind of giving into them after they've been very frustrating and very just combative and annoying. They don't care. I think they find it humorous, and then they can get off to that. Yes, but they do have another part of them. Like when they're lazy, they're super, super lazy. I don't think that they're ever really concerned about what their partner wants necessarily. That might be another reason why they like partners who are a bit more kind of uptight and a little bit more maybe older or more mature, or who seem more knowledgeable in bed, because they kind of just crash into different experiences so that other people can take responsibility for like the learning part of the interaction and the like knowing what to do basically, because they're like, I'm just gonna go and get mine, but I will kind of learn just by whatever you do in the situation. I don't think they really take notes. They're not trying to pass on those pleasures to future lovers. They're just going to keep trying to, get theirs, but they do like testing and trying things, like they're at Costco. Okay. Look at over here. They could enjoy food, having food, or mostly it's just they like having what they want, instant gratification, period. Like they really do. They really do. You might be like, really? You're looking at, these pictures in your DMs while we're ordering food and eating all this while we're sleeping together in 3 different ways, and we're watching something on TV simultaneously. Like they just can overdo it with how much stimulation they need sometimes, and it could be because they just go too fast, too hard, too quick, and now they have to have it in all this kind of sexual stimulation in all these different areas, or they feel like they have to have all these different partners to fulfill all of these different desires that they have, but they don't really work on it themselves to kind of get there themselves. Now, a few in this group they do, or as they get older, they kind of work on that, and then they'll be very good partners then. But most, and I do mean most in this group, they're really, really not in the stylings of kind of, trying to finesse any pleasure for the partner. Okay, so that's a look at their erotic style within themselves. Now let's look at their fantasy with you. All right, these are going long. That was quick. That didn't even feel like that was so long. So we have, look, again, Aries energy, hunter, aggressor, tracker, provider. Provide you with a reckless time. Okay. Look, thirst, craving, compulsion, obsession. How perfectly is that going? Just, yes, like a young vampire who hasn't been taught to control their impulses yet. I want. And if you happen to be drained dry in the process, well, oops, oops, giggle. That's what Aries do, huh? They do all that mischief, then they'd be like, oh, hee hee. We have Prince of Cups, the filmmaker. They like to be the boss. They like to see the situation. They like to spot you. That's what they want to do with you. They want to spot you across the room. They want to hunt you, and they want to just drain you dry until they have every pleasure. Now, they ain't looking for a relationship. The lovers are reversed. They're not trying to get hitched, get married. I mean, you guys might already have that dynamic with your partner, so then that doesn't apply. But if you are like, okay, I'm just connecting with this person and we're having a sexual connection, and what else will develop from this, it is not in their plans to develop a relationship at this point. We have bon voyage. Okay, we had Jupiter and Pisces, so Jupiter energy. We have Sagittarian energy in the spread. We have travel, like deuces. No, they are not trying to stick around. If you are not currently in a long-term relationship with them, that's not what at least this sexual experience will be. So like, for instance, if you're like, oh well, if we have sex, then would they stay around? No. If it's not solid already, that's not part of their plan. We have achievements. So again, yes, they like to just check off that list. You are something they want to experience. They are trying to cultivate the experience. We have good as hell. They like to feel good as hell. I feel like they know that afterwards you might have to be like, well, I'm going to call my friends and I'm going to have to get you out of my system and get that talk about, oh, well, screw this person. You know, you're better off without them. And they're okay with that. They know that you're going to have to do that. A Little Bit by Licky Lee and A Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. See how I did like that? Okay, here's the thing. This person sells falling in love, but then they bounce. Okay, because Little Bit is like, we do have Pisces energy. We have Jupiter in Pisces. We have the Prince of Cups here, which is the Knight of Cups, and we have Little Bit, which is a song by Pisces. And in that song, it's talking about I'm too cool for love. Maybe I'm a little bit in love with you if you're a little bit in love with me. It's a very cute song, but the Lovers is reversed. So this person, if you take it into that fantasy that you need to go into that in order to get into your Ring of Fire, okay, they will play that role. They will play that role, but it is definitely more playing a role of, you know, coming in, and it reminds me of Aries Pisces relationships. Actually, this is exactly what it reminds me of. Or like Sag and Pisces. Sag and Aries roll in being like the bad boys, right? And gender doesn't matter, but it's just, you know, phrasing. And then Pisces is there, just so easily corruptible, and the fire signs can't help but just look at those big old eyes and just play into that fantasy. They want that fantasy for themselves for a bit, and that's what this person is like. And so I caution you with experience, okay? This person, you might feel like, or they might be saying things like they usually don't do this with others, they usually don't fall for people, maybe they usually don't even cry during sex, or they usually don't stay afterwards, or things of that nature. There's going to be some little things that they do with you that they don't always do with everybody. However, unless you have a solid, you know, healthy, established relationship, this person, they're in the role. Okay, they're directing, producing, starring, and writing the script. Okay, just got to put that out there. But that's what they want to do. They want to experience something new. They want a new achievement, right? So it's like in Hollywood, if somebody is the action star, this person's the action star, the you know, careless, hair in the wind, gets anyone they want, you know, kind of playboy kind of energy. Well, they want to do a dramatic role now, or they want to prove they could do a rom-com, and that's why they're coming to you. So they're hunting you. Oh, hunty, believe they are hunting you, but they're gonna switch it up a little bit. They feel like they could try on a different role with you, that it will feel good, it'll feel like a notch on the belt, it'll feel like, you know, an adventure for them, and it feels safe to them to try this with you for some reason. So just watch out, because somebody can get caught up definitely with this Ring of Fire, and how the whole reading's been going and how their style and their personality is, the backstory. It doesn't seem like it would be them that would get caught up. And even if you're like, well, it is them because I'm not caught up, they're not going to stay caught up long. So don't bet on it. All right. Because this is the kind of person that will be like, bet and then run off and ruin your life by being involved with 5 different people. Okay. Yes, this person might want to get you on film. So watch out. It is 2019. Okay, you might want to use film and not digital. Okay, this person definitely wants to get it on the road. There could be something with, I'm seeing achievements, so this person might like to go wherever your achievements are. There are people like that, where they kind of, Taurus can be like this sometimes. They like to take their partner's achievements in some ways. That might sound weird, but I've seen a lot of people with that with Taurus, where like they like to like collect their partner's trophies or things of that nature. So this is kind of that feeling of, you know, they might like to go and see you in your element, where you kind of star, and then show that they can conquer you there. Okay, so if you are, you know, a successful business person, they might like to show up in your office and just sweep you off your feet, get you looking all kinds of upside down, coming out hair messed up in the office. Or if you are somebody who's known for being all, you're all tough on the court or something, they might want to show up and just show how they can bring you to your knees there on the court. So there's that energy that they want to kind of show that they can pull rank with your other achievements in your life. So be careful. Again, this person likes to come in and to stabilize others. The more that they are focused on you, and they are very focused right here, aggressor, tracker, provider, I don't think is, they're more provider of experiences, and they don't really discriminate on whether the experience is one you're gonna like in the long run, okay? They kind of serve it, and if you let them get away with it, they say, well, you like, I didn't do it against your will, you let me, you agreed, and then off they go. Yes, craving, compulsion, obsession. So they super fixate, and it definitely feels like you have their attention now. So if you're asking about someone who who knows of you, and you guys have had some interaction, they definitely have that energy and attention on you. They could be watching you on social media. There's a big energy of liking to watch you on screen, liking to watch you in your element. If you're in the arts in any kind of way, they could be very attracted to your art or to you as a muse or the artwork that you do. And there is travel here. So even if you are at a distance, this person could definitely travel to make something happen with you, to have this like sexual encounter with you, or they might like to like make the Mile High Club, get up in the air, go on the road, whisk you away for, a weekend or something. Yes. So it's like pack your bags. It could be a holiday. It could be action moving forward, something new. They want to try new things with you. And that's the whole thing. They don't want anything the same. So they're not going to really, this isn't a person that you want to look at, well, their ex was this and this and that and did this and this. Whatever that was, they probably want to do the opposite or something completely new. That's all they want. If they feel like they're going to old experiences, they're not going to like that. For some of you, they have just gotten out of like a big relationship or marriage or something, and you might be comparing that, and that's not what they're thinking. At the same time too, if you're getting out of a marriage or divorce, they're not trying to replicate anything that you had. They'll just kind of leave and bounce if you try to do that too much. They're coming in to conquer, do new things. That could be kind of their purpose in interacting with you. Kind of that Knight of Wands energy that comes in a lot after people have divorces, is to remind you that your stuff still works, okay? Your body still functions. There's more fish in the sea. They kind of do crash into people's lives and remind them that. But it does say saying goodbye to a person or a thing that no longer serves you, or a time to let go of old baggage, negative patterns, or outworn beliefs. Because this person really isn't gonna take any shit. Like, they're not gonna take any blame for anything. They're not really going to let you kind of push any of your stuff onto them, and that's why they can be so intoxicating, because they're just like, nope, don't believe it, nope, and they just kind of, they don't let any heaviness stick to the situation. And so then it makes you want to start hunting them, like, how can I get you to stay around? Okay. High expectations. Yes, they definitely have high expectations, grand ideals, elevated priorities, overachiever. So this talks about being a workaholic and overachiever. This person really, like, obsession, overachiever, workaholic, tracking aggressively. Like, this person is honed in like a heat-seeking missile to make this happen to you, happen with you. Like I said, to you. Look, that's how they see themselves, as an event, an experience that's going to happen to you. Okay. Goodness, literally, it's like they want to ruin you for anyone else. They want to have that achievement. Now this person definitely might talk, okay? They could definitely be a bragger or share what is going on. I would think twice about sharing nudes with them, because this person could, like, that ass. Look right here, I got proof. Zoom, okay? Watch out, you guys. because this is like an achievement for a lot of you. They're like, yes, like you're hitting that mark. That's why they even feel like, could I be a little bit in love, or am I just obsessed? I don't know, but I'm feeling good as hell. So whether or not this person whether or not you fall in love with them, or you move on and, you know, dust them out your hair, shampoo, press, all that, they're just like, shoot, I don't care because I'm obsessed. I gotta have it. Okay. There could be a lot of, it's weird, but I'm seeing like sucking energy. Like for them, mostly they're just getting off on the hunt. Like it's very Aries Sagittarian. Once they get that, they're kind of like, okay, done, bounce. So it's not even about so much the experience itself. It's about the hunt and getting your attention and finding all your pictures and all the different ways to view you, all the ways to kind of get you to pay attention to them, all of that leading up. And then it's like the climax, the actual interaction, wham bam, thank you ma'am, could be whatever. Almost it's the, you know, the energy. They could have a little Scorpio or Pluto going on in their chart with your connection as well. But definitely a lot of Mars energy, in this. Yeah, that's what's doing it for them. I do see them thinking about wanting to like kind of like suck on you a lot though. They could have not that many limitations, whatever time of the month it is or anything like that. They could be kind of willing to go anywhere, any orifice, okay, let's just say it that way. But that seems to be very oral, all the things that they're thinking of. Not so much like romantic kissing, but just very kind of erotic oral pleasure is the thing that they most fantasize about. Other than that, they're just thinking about like the submission. That's what they want. That moment is so intense. But you know, when you're watching like not National Geographic, but anything with animals, the moment that the prey realizes that the hunter's watching, they like that moment. But even better is that moment where the prey realizes that they can't escape the hunter and then they submit, you know. And that's what they like. They're like, you could say that it's the hunter's fault and the hunter this and that, but they're like, actually, if you really watch, that at some moment that prey usually submits to the hunter, and that's their whole get off. That's all that they're really wanting, is to make you give into them. Kind of like that song "Give In to Me" on Country Strong. Garrett Hedlund and I forget her name, their characters sang it. So yes, they're willing to pretend to have a crush. They're willing to be like, oh, I'm stepping into this ring of fire. They're willing to be hated by your friends. They're willing to mess up your job and your boss to spend some money on, or use their frequent flyer, because they just want to track you down one way or another. They're gonna find you. They're gonna get you. Okay, maybe next week they're gonna get you. So that's their whole fantasy, is just tracking you down. So they're definitely probably saving some photos and things on social media if they have access to that. If not, that's just gonna, they're just gonna be going even more wild, trying to find a way to see where they can find you. They might know where your job is, okay, or your school, wherever you're doing your daily achievements. Yeah, that's their fantasy. What's that? Fantasy by, what's the song called? Fantasy with Ludacris? Lick you from your head to your toes. Yes, that's pretty much it. So that is for you, number 2. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you soon on another one. For number 3, we did 6, huh? These are going to be some long ones. For those of you who chose number 3, let's see what we got here. First, we'll go into their stylings as, an erotic person, and then we'll go into their, and then we'll go into their, fantasies with you. We have the Knight of Wands, the fire starter. Okay, let's see what else we got. All right, we have the shadow side of the unknown. This was one of the blank cards for the archetype. We have Temperance, the wisdom of Iris. Secret pleasures lie at the end of the rainbow. Okay. We have Mars in Pisces, which is the Ten of Cups reversed. And we have the Sun in Capricorn with the Four of Pentacles reversed. All right. So what is this person's erotic nature? Let me see if I got all of them here. Okay, yes, I did. I forgot you guys have an extra oracle and only one of those tarot came out. Okay, so this person could definitely be a Sagittarius. We also have Capricorn and Pisces showing up here. This person likes to explore the unknown. This person could definitely have a sexuality that is not hetero, or that they don't really place any boundaries on. They could be somewhere on, especially it actually talks about the rainbow, and the Temperance card can show two-spirit, transgender, pansexual, bisexual, the whole spectrum can be on there. So they might have an open sexuality in some aspect. And the Knight of Wands does like to go on many adventures and experience many different things. And we have the shadow side of the unknown, meaning that some of their own desires might be not even known to themselves. I think they have this where part of them feels like anything could go to find your happy ending sexually, or to find a person that you connect with erotically. Yeah, I feel like they're pretty open-ended to that. At the same time, I think they might not know what that entails all the time and how to get it. So they're trying to come out of feeling closed off. The Four of Pentacles reverse. This person might have started off very closed off and maybe feeling a bit closeted in their own sexual life, or been kind of raised rigidly, or maybe with some fears about openly expressing just being a human being that has sexual needs. Now, however, they really move forward with it. I feel like they might literally be forward with their erotic life. They might talk about sexual things more and be more open. They might be like they might be someone who talks about it a lot and then it's like, well, maybe that's not for me, but it's for somebody. But it's kind of their way of I feel like anything they bring up, they're probably interested in, even if they're not sure if they are yet. They kind of like to get into the philosophy of different sexual lifestyles or different sexual experiences. They kind of have a hesitancy and a shyness with the Mars and Pisces, and it's reversed, about how to go about getting their pleasures fulfilled. So while they may talk a good game and they might get themselves in like situations where they have opportunities for it, once they come face to face, it can be a little bit hit or miss whether they will have the courage to ask for what they really want. Or they might come on to their partners, and then once they are in the sexual act, they might feel a little shy or inhibited about really articulating the experience that they want. So they might just have like very vague kind of sexual experiences, like things that just happen, the things that they stumble upon liking. In some ways, this is really cool because then they are able to, kind of take down any inhibitions and be open to like a whole bunch of random things that their partner might know. They don't really have like some people would say standards. I'm hearing some people like standards. But they don't really have like a kind of a little box that they want to put themselves in, as far as like, okay, the person needs to be this weight, this height, this race, this ethnicity, this nationality, this religion, all this kind of stuff. They don't really do that. They kind of actually want to explore more and more and more and more. This person could really like, oh, this person's speaking a different language, or I'm gonna speak a different language. Shoot, this person might even memorize a few different lines in a different language just to try to impress someone in the bedroom, like, oh, I just spoke to you in Italian. And that's all they know how to do is order some pizza. No, it's fine. But there's this kind of feel there that they want to be a little, they want to be worldwide impressive. Okay, they have a big dreaminess about that. Like, man, I need to, what are they into overseas? Like, they have a curiosity that's there. Sometimes they're a bit more kind of book smart, like maybe they have the Kama Sutra or something. They're a little bit more book smart than they are practical going forward. They're not really like a slave to their desires, but they like to give in. And that's the thing. They like to come to that moment where they give in to this experience. They might work pretty well with number two, just just because the other number two is so dynamic and aggressive, and they know how to be passive. They can be aggressive when they need to, but they know how to be kind of passive and submissive, and just kind of hope for a good ending and kind of trust their partner as they're guided along that things are going to turn out well. They quite often will know that they're not exactly sexually compatible with somebody and try it anyways, just to find the median point. So they're not really looking for perfection with the Ten of Cups reverse. They're looking to reinvent the idea of perfection. They're looking to reinvent the idea of what sex has to be like and come out of, rigid, practical determinations of what that has to be. Yeah, I feel like for them, their sexual experiences, like slowly, as they go through them, they might kind of start changing the way that the person talks or acts or dresses. They might get into more scenes or broaden their life through their sexual experiences that they have, or kind of like as they grow, they'll become more accepting and encompassing of other walks of life, other kind of sexual experiences that that maybe they didn't know about when they were starting out on their sexual journey, or that they maybe at first because of programming were closed down to, and then they realize, whoa, not only do I hold space for that kind of expression sexually, but I actually identify with that, or I am that too. That kind of thing, or my partner is, depending on how things sync up. I do see this partner quite often, like maybe this person, if they are like cisgender, they'll be with someone who is not cisgender, or if they are straight, their partner might be bisexual, or vice versa. Like there's this kind of meeting where they kind of meet people on like this little axis, that like a hinge, like they kind of hinge a lot of different communities or different intersections with others where they fall sexually. So that's why a lot of people in this group might not truly like deeply internally know how to identify themselves sexually or what they want, and just be like, hey, I like what I like, whatever. Yes, I do feel like this person has a humor. They do have a crude humor that they can give. They might like to tease and tell some sexual jokes. They could keep things very light and fun. And, they don't really want to put a spotlight in a negative way on their partner. They don't want to zoom in and criticize and analyze. Again, not very Virgo. Kind of the opposite of what Virgo would be doing in a sexual situation. This is more, they see it, there is a hawk here. They do see all those different details, but to them, there's much more beauty in differences, and it's cooler for them to figure out, oh shoot, we do this completely, you do that move, I move right, you move left, well, what happens if we stay in the middle? Okay, they love that. They love to see contrasting kind of love style, sexual styles come together and have to figure out that puzzle piece and learn something new. I do feel like this group can also talk, so they might be like, hey, something else for the record books. Look what I found out today. Did you know if you turn this way, when that person's going up like this, your leg can do this? So they do like to have kind of a study of things, but not in a way that would be demeaning to their partner or anything of that nature. I do feel like they would be more submissive, or like more like a bottom, or that kind of energy, and they just kind of let things ride out. and experience what they experience. They are kind of on the move, so I feel like sometimes if it's a chill vibe and everyone knows it's just friends and it was just cool, then they might hang around. They could be open to like smoking out, you know, watching the sunrise, watching the sunset. I do see that. They're kind of like a twilight, very in between kind of person, just in general. They're just an in between person. Like they might not sit down for official dinner, but later when you order, you know, some snacks in or something, they might be there. They're not going to be there all day, you know, all day, and they're not going to hold you all night, but you know, in the late hours, in the early morning or something, like that twilight periods, you know, you can call them, they'll show up, that kind of thing. They also could travel. They might, yes, absolutely. Knight of Wands and Temperance. They also really probably travel, and they might be have done backpacking or something and have this idea that that's part of your sexual experience, that you travel the world, you learn things, and you hook up with people, and that's part of your sexual education, is through this kind of living life experience. When you're on the go, you meet people and you hook up. So some people don't really, they're like, man, how can I hook up with someone? I gotta have my friends introduce me or something. And some people, it's like they could just be out and about and just run into people, right? And they're like, well, we were in the Alps and I saw their purple backpack and, you know, said hi, and here we are. Yeah, so they can have that vibe where they could kind of meet someone anywhere, I think, to connect with sexually and have a beautiful experience. I do see them admiring like nature and paying attention to what's going on, and like the stars, or the mountains, or the scenery, the meadows or something. They have that kind of, just, they totally be someone that could be outdoors or camping or a little bit hippie-ish or something, and you know, meet people and be very free spirited about it. They're not someone who's like really focusing on relationships as far as just their erotic nature, and they're not somebody who's trying to tie someone down at all just because they had a sexual experience together. We have the Four Pentacles reversed. They're actually maybe even sometimes too good at letting people go, too good at opening up even when they are in a relationship, and allowing others to find other ways to sexually express. All right, so let's look further in. They are emotional. They can be emotional when they have sex with people, but with the Mars and Pisces, but I don't feel that they would ever enforce their own rigid needs over the partners if the other person like insisted that they didn't want a relationship or had to leave. Yes, their fantasy with you, anti-hero. Yes, they want to free your mind as well. They want to have you shake conventions as well. They want you to go counter to society and religion. We have religion here. We're reading these up right, but religion reversed. And we have Maynard. So literally, yes, they could be different than what society tells you is okay, and they want to challenge that for you. We have dominance here, the Two of Wands. They want to challenge your free will and who you let have dominance over your sexuality, who you let have dominance over your body, and your thoughts about what pleasure you deserve, the Three of Cups here. There could definitely be orgies that this person thinks of. With the Maynard energy, if you've seen True Blood, this Maynard is kind of connected. They even mention it in the book to that. Basically, it's that primal sexual connection to nature, to each other, to indulgences, to the point that everything just goes into madness and ecstasy and energy release. So yes, all the stuff we were picking up about that hippie nature, liking nature, doing their own thing, not getting tied down to one religion, all of that. It says maverick, risk taker, rule breaker. They want to break some rules. We have abundance in the Three of Cups here with a celebration. We also have icing, inspiration. And we have fudge, moving forward. So yeah, they want to be a bit revolutionary with their sexual life. They want to keep exploring. They don't want to have to live within the rules. See, this is like some kind of like courthouse or something, and this is having dominance over that and taking your free will over it. So definitely this could be, you know, queer sexual encounters. This could be things that maybe in your country or a religion, maybe you're not supposed to be with somebody of this other religion or of this other kind of tribe or something. This person likes to push against all of those tropes and to dare you to claim your whole body. I feel like even your scars, not in a way, on one of the other ones, it was kind of like scars were turned on, and this, it's like they're embraced. They're not something that is ugly to them. This person could really go into, we see some gothic stylings here, where they even have the whited out contacts on the lens. They could be very into like cosplay and want to explore that with you, dressing up. I'm also seeing people who are just very street, very hood. They like that style, that turns them on. Okay, if your status ain't hood, I need a soldier, that song, Destiny's Child. So we do have a lot of different styles here, but that's the thing. They like people who are different. They want rawness. They want authenticity. They want kind of the idea that they come in and save you from this very toxic existence. While they are seen as the one who is toxic, that they are actually saving you from this toxic, boring existence of being in like I don't know, stuck in society, in the bubble, in this blah, gray world, and they wake you up to a whole different scene, to this whole different truer self in yourself. And I feel like there's different scenarios that they would play that out in. Maybe they, there's one where they wake you up by connecting you to earth and being more nature friendly. One they wake you up spiritually. One of the scenarios, they wake you up by making you see the tough, nitty gritty parts of the world. So there's all different styles here. There's also, again, the energy of connecting with others. There's definitely kind of an Aquarian energy here as well in this one, where they're about their crew, their scene, their set, or bringing you into like a world that you haven't yet known existed. So it could be that they actually want other partners in the situation, and it could just be that they want you to be in the same kind of environment of sexual freedom that they are in, or in the same political mindset of owning your own body and sexuality, outside of what society says. We have 400 Lux by Lord. So Toxic by Yael Naim, that is the Britney Spears song, but as redone by Yael Naim, and it's a little bit more eerie, a little bit more kind of music box soundy, circusy sounding, so fits this reading. 400 Lux by Lord, I love that song, super cool. Yeah, low key, it's like a driving song, driving at night, driving in the rain kind of song. And it's like, I like you, and it's just talking about driving up under the trees and cruising, and how there's a little awkwardness, but you're getting used to each other. And it's just like a very heart to heart kind of chill song. We're never done with killing time. Can I kill it with you till the veins run red and blue? Okay. And then we have Problems by Black. So this song is like, so I found me a new thing. I'm not as lost as you think. Got plenty queens in my hometown. All they need is dank and that drank. So and it's very atmospheric. If you know the music of Black, chill, real cool cruising song as well. So this is like, again, this person wants to be chill in some kind of way. Like they want to be real. They want to go into all the nitty gritty places that you're not supposed to go into and explore that. They want to see you go to be real and honest, but to also be raw and a bit, I don't know, more wild, and intangible. So they want to see when life is really in your face, when you're really meant to be out there living. Like that's their thing. They want to see you in action more, not just like your day-to-day routine, not doing what you're supposed to do. There's no office fantasies here. They're like, okay, let's say we go we ride through the hood or something. Like, what kind of person are you? Like, they want to see your realness. Any situation that's going to bring out a raw actual reaction in you, whether that is softness and sensitivity and giving into ecstasy, or whether that is toughness. Like, that's just what they want. They're almost like a chemist with that temperance card from their Erotic Style, where they just want to see how you tick and how you work, and it's almost like they're willing to put you through different scenarios to elicit a very raw response. So they don't necessarily, I think they have a few fantasies and we'll touch on them, but they don't necessarily have anything concrete, because their whole thing is to just see you unfurl into who your deeper core self is, and they're not really sure what that is right now. They're even open to the fact that maybe under all that you are a prude. Maybe you are a Virgo under all that. I'm just teasing. Virgo, y'all can get wild. So they definitely want to take you out into nature and see what would happen if you were just like, hey, no cameras on, no one will ever know, let's pretend society never existed. Like, how rough and wild and, you know, giving in to just, you know, your orgasm connecting to the shooting stars can you get. They really want to have like that kind of mind-blowing, we're so small but we're connected to all that is feeling. They might even want to roll in the grass, or you know, be all up in the bushes or something, be very much in nature, kind of camping, natural settings in the streams and the brooks instead of to the window to the walls. It's like from the tree to the fallen log. Okay, hope the bug don't bite my balls. Sorry, I couldn't help it. So they do. Some of y'all are like, ain't not lemongrass. Okay, just take you some lemongrass. Those bugs will leave you alone. Or some lavender and essential oils. That'll help you out, okay? Yes, I'm even seeing mud. They might picture you like in mud and, you know, covered in like a natural way, but just still looking sexy. I'm thinking of the Whenever Wherever video, I think it is, where Shakira's all in the mud and the horses are running, and exactly whenever, wherever we're meant to be together. I want to see these urges come out of you. I want to see, you know, your raw vulnerability come out. And then there's the other side where they want to see you in a real urban setting, or they want to see you in like a scene. If you rock a particular scene, like if you're a real goth, or if you do cosplay yourself, or if there's a particular scene that you're really in, that's the element they want to see you in. So they don't want to see you in a fake thing. Like if you're not from the hood, they're not trying to take you to the hood and see how you are there. They want to see like in your truest self, like how you rep. They want to see how you are there. So maybe like you're living in the same country as where they are now, but you're from like Hong Kong or something. They want to see you in that element. They want to know more about who you are, your culture and stuff. And they do like to live vicariously and learn about people's scenes and stuff through that. If you are, you know, maybe inspiration, what does it say? This card comes as a good omen. Feel confident in knowing that your spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial needs are all being met. So yeah, they're not really looking to destabilize you, unlike some of the other options here. They're trying to nurture your confident nature and consider the more specific changes that you would like to see in your life. Your needs are met always. I am one with Creator, and therefore I create my own luck. And I love that it mentions one with Creator, because that is the energy here. Like their idea is to break you down to have a real honest moment in connection with them, so that you can better connect to all that is and have this like bigger than ever orgasm. And so that's kind of how they work on things. They, you know, very much like an alchemist. They're like, okay, let's break down all these different parts that we are and see if we can transmute ourselves into this experience that's never happened. So they look at each of their partners that they have as very valuable and as very different and as complete different experiences. They could be with 10 different people in the same field, and each one they would have just as much care and attention and openness to that very unique experience, because each person is so different. And so they want to see you, they're open to seeing you try on different roles. That's exciting for them, absolutely. But they also want to see which one is yours, and that's where they feel like lightning bolts will happen. So they might feel like you haven't quite chosen your sexual styling is the feeling that I'm getting, or that they don't know it yet. Like, are you just, are you, like how I kind of set up the songs with it. Are you very, toxic and rebellious and you want to be the dominant one? I think they definitely are okay with you dominating them, maybe even leaving some marks on them, even playing up with their look a bit, kind of making them have to submit, and you maybe generally being a submissive person learning to dominate others. I could definitely see some kind of worship of each other happening head to toe, maybe even using props, or using either it's like you're treating each other as royalty, or you're treating each other as like saints or deities or something of that nature. And then there is the nature fantasy, that's their strongest fantasy, is the nature fantasy, where it goes into just worship of all that is nature, body, the stars, the heavens, and feeling that until the whole connection seems like it's all like one experience. Like your orgasm is the stars, is the grass. There could even be some like drug experimentation in this card, which actually goes into the whole Maenad things, the ritual and everything, or there could be wine or things that they want to try. So yeah, they're definitely open to a lot of experiences. They could have like Mars in Aquarius, or Venus, some kind of planets in Aquarius. But mostly they want to see you rebel. They want to see you open up. I feel like they really like the idea of a bare body. And if there is costuming, because they do like costuming, but if there is, the costuming needs to be revealing either what you're breaking out of. So you would put something on that you would then shed because you're stripping out of it and it's symbolic. They are a bit ceremonial. Or it is something that is becoming who you are. So you could reveal your true self to this person by your clothing and your style of how you dress to them. So they like it as an empowerment statement. They're not about just sexualizing you with lingerie or anything of that nature. So yeah, it's a little bit hard to give a lot of specifics with this one, because it is very much personal to you, who you are. So you'll know if you have, certain styles, or maybe you dress as a certain gender, or you have a particular character that you dress up as. Like some people, they just like to live their life dressing up like a fairy or like an ocean being or something. Everyone has their different style that they have, so you'll know what is like your truest thing that represents you, or something that you've been wanting to experience. For Fudge, moving forward, it's talking about changing away from sadness and separation and finding more of your happiness, and that the change holds your best interests at heart. And again, that's the thing, they like to facilitate you in your transformations and helping you better connect with who you are and having your expression. So this person, you would never have to feel worried about like, oh my gosh, I really want to try this new makeup or this new push-up bra or this new or not shaving or something like that, and then expose myself to this person and then they're going to make fun of me. They're not that kind of person. They want to see you try all these different styles and see how that goes for you and be open to it. And yeah, it's almost like the more that it could be like prohibited, the more they want to try it. Yeah, as long as you're cool and chill and you're able to see it as, friendly encounters, and everyone's allowed to have their free will and their autonomy within the situation. And like this, it's inspiration, it's moving forward, learning purposes, they're totally up for it. Yes. They do have one fantasy though of really wanting to get you to give in to what you consider your dark side. And that's going to be different for everyone. But yes, they do. They want to take you there. Yes. So they're a bit more, the transformation and the whole reveal and the kind of sapiosexual connection is what's biggest for them versus any physical connection. I feel like once that's in place, like the honesty, the rawness, the truth, the communication of, you revealing yourself and stuff, it's almost like it doesn't take much for them to get off, and they're assuming that it would be the same with you if you were to reach that level of honesty and transparency with them. There's not really overly focusing on body parts besides the eyes and besides any augmentations that you've chosen to make to your body. They really pay attention to how you communicate your body, how you choose to represent your body. And they might like bangs. They might like bangs. I do see some bangs. But other than that, yes, it's much more your feeling, your words, how you think, your story. That's what it is, your story, your personal story. They kind of like to connect with that in people. Yes, so that's your reading. A little bit different for this group, but I feel like they have a good energy. They do have a good energy. I think they feel like a safe partner, at least their energy here in this reading does. And you know, they just want everyone to be able to find themselves sexually, which is pretty cool to hold that space. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And number 3s, and I'll talk to you soon. For those of you who chose number 4, let's see what we got here. Yes. Okay. These are running long. I hope you guys enjoy them. Let me get these cards. We're going to have some that are for what this person is like erotically, and then we'll have some what this person fantasizes about with you. So we have the Ten of Swords reverse, which says ruin and Sun and Gemini. They could definitely be a Gemini. We have let's see, this is a Virgo card, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, so they could also be a Virgo or have those in their chart, or you could be one. Well, this one right here is more their erotic styling though, so it's probably going to reflect their chart. We have Neptune, and in this it's Hangman, and it's called the Punishment in this one. Yes, both of them, because Gemini and Virgo are both masochists, although Neptune could be a Pisces. Servant, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Makes sense with all the mutable signs. And we have the Nine of Swords reversed, the power of illusion, and this is Gemini as well. And then we have the Six of Pentacles, a generous exchange, which can be a little bit of Taurus energy, but really feeling more Virgo in this spread. Okay, so yes, this person likes to be the subservient one. They like to show up and do what is asked of them. They kind of like to be in a bit of turmoil, a bit of what is it called, where you like whip yourself? Yes, they definitely, yeah, they like to explore erotically, like everything that they've done wrong and how they should be punished in life, or they're not being successful, all of those kind of things. And it helps them if they can earn it back sexually, if they can be made to have to please their partner. Definitely if there's any falling outs with if they're like in a relationship with their sexual partner, they feel like they can earn it back in the bedroom. They'll make it up to them there. And it's a whole experience from, you know, how this is the Virgo. So in a lot of the other ones I kept saying, this is not a very Virgo kind of setup. This one is more the Virgo mercurial setup here, where they will want to caretake their partner, serve them, be very much a sub kind of energy if they are in that culture. Sexually, this is like where they are bringing you food, they're rubbing your feet, they are running errands. They're just kind of, their whole experience is either being of service to the person or submitting to kind of punishment if they've been wrong. They definitely like the spanking, the even a bit of kind of like clawing, nails on the back, a little biting, all of those kind of things, the pain kind of things. Virgo energy, Virgos like pick at things. They pick at themselves, they pick at others, like physically even pick. And so this could be something that plays into this person. I even feel like Yeah, there's this like lashing or like the breaking of skin in some way that this person can be into. There could be some handcuffs, or you're not allowed to move until I tell you to. And I do feel like this person is on the receiving end. They like to be on the receiving end of a lot of this punishment. There are some Pisces and Gemini here as well, as we said. A few watching, they can kind of flip back and forth between the roles. They can give and receive, kind of being the boss of the other person or being the servant. But for most in this group, they really like to be dominated. They like to be told, what they can and cannot do. They like the partner to have a firm hand. They like that kind of thing, like, no, you did it wrong, go back and do it again. You lit those candles wrong, you massaged my feet wrong, this foreplay was awful, now you're going to be punished, you have to do it again. They want to be like kind of shamed and degraded a bit until they feel like they're going to crawl in the corner on the floor and then find a way to earn it back, so that they feel like they're good and they deserve to have their sexual release, their climax, their orgasm. And that is kind of how it works for them. Now we have the power of illusion reversed. So they I think they have to, with the Neptune here, they have to work on keeping reality and what is this, working this out in the bedroom, separate. They might overly mix those up sometimes. They might start playing too subservient in their real life, or getting people who are too domineering and kind of confuse things, or they might overcompensate, and because they are submissive sexually, be really dominant and like a hard ass in their other areas of their life. And so I do feel like they lack balance sometimes to have that exchange as they should, just because when they get going, they really can let go and almost just like give someone full reign over their body, and their spiritual, even their spirit. They don't always caretake kind of their spiritual energy and connections the best, but they kind of like taking it there and pushing it to the edge of that sacrifice, and letting themselves kind of hang in the balance at someone else's mental, emotional, physical mercy. Yeah. Yeah, they're just kind of a glutton for punishment and pain, to be honest. And it's not it's in all ways. It's in verbal, kind of what would seem like verbal abuse. I don't really want to call it abuse here, because this is consensual and in a contained environment that they would be erotically approving, but verbal degrading a little bit. And I feel like even throughout the week, they would it's almost like they want the gold stars, right? They want their partner to say, this is what I want you to achieve, this is how you have to listen to me, and to have like this ongoing role behind the scenes. And maybe everyone else doesn't know, but them and their partner do. And then they, maybe they fail, and so their partner sends them a text that they're in trouble, and then they have to worry about how they're going to be punished. What are they going to have to do to make this up, and let them suffer not knowing what they're going to have to do. And then they get their punishment. There's this spanking, there's this like going out in the woods here and the thorn bushes or something. Like there's this weird little punishment and like pain fetishes that they do. And or sometimes it's just like, you have to serve me, you have to be at my beck and call, you have to do whatever I say, and you have to bathe me and all this kind of stuff. So, but they like that. They like having to be of service in good ways, and they also like having to go into these or choosing to go into these punishment roles and work out. I think it gives them a bit of control, because if they're choosing to do this erotically, and then they can constructively plan how to work it back, they can have more control than in the real world, where you make a mistake and you're fucked, basically. This way you're fucked in a good way, I guess. Yes, so that is their style. They like to give back. They're always thinking about what is giving pleasure to the partner even more than to themselves in a lot of ways. They can go through periods where they choose to be celibate or abstain. They can do it in a way too where they actually get pleasure from denying themselves pleasure. It's kind of their thing. Delayed gratification. Yeah, yeah, kind of being like a saint kind of energy. Definitely that. They have that Pisces, Virgo, crux kind of energy where they want to be the saint. They want to be like super good, and they like to see themselves as either providing the space for others to be like the wonderful ones and they diminish themselves, or that they are like so good sexually that they elevate the spirit experience to something spiritual and something that is like, you know, giving them spiritual gold stars in some way. Yes, so they have even this like dissociating kind of energy, and I think that having all of these physical tasks helps bring them back into their bodies for their physical experience of sex. And not just sex, it's, you know, erotic in nature, because a lot of the things that they like isn't actually like the physical sexual experience. It's a whole bunch of other stuff, like we we're saying, all these other tasks and deeds and rules and stuff, and this act of service that they're made to do that actually gets them there more than just kind of like, you know, having missionary sex or something would. Yeah, so that's their style. Let's look into their fantasy with you. Okay, we have, these were reversed. Let's see, love conquers all, enduring loyalty, eternal love, lasting commitment. It was reversed, but we'll upright it for the oracle and just note it. We have reason, listen to advice, think clearly, and intellect also was reversed. Pudding, balance. This was reversed, chocolate bar, sadness. We have Eight of Pentacles reversed. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. The songs we have are Starving by Haley Steinfeld, Best Thing I Never Had by Beyonce, and Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar. Okay, so their fantasy that they have with you, or some of them, we'll see how many we get here. It's so funny because it's like they want to introduce you into feeling like you will get everything you want and then deprave you of that. So that you feel like this urge of not getting what you want. That's what they want to do. They want to build you up till you feel like you're gonna have like the best orgasm of your life, and then pull it back and dial it all the way down and just like make it, they want you to feel that burn that they do, because that's how they get pleasure, is by this like withdrawal and not getting that release that they initially thought that they would. And that's what they want to do. They want to, right, get you, I didn't know I was starving until I tasted you. They want to give you that taste so that you get real going. They want to push your buttons because they're good at servicing, okay? And then they want to deny you that and make you come at them like give it to me, right? Hit me with your best shot, fire away, come on, like let go, come on. Like, I know what she say, breaking little hearts like the one in me. They want to kind of give you that torture pleasure, so to speak, and kind of psych you out of like the sadness though, because doing something like that, it's like they want to make you realize how much you want to be pleased. They want to make you admit it. They want to make you beg for it and go into that vibration of no, like I will be pleased. I want this. It's love conquers all. So they're using this intellectual reason of why they think it works for them. They seem very mercurial to like act, it's like an act of love to them to make you realize why sometimes denying ourselves what we want shows us how much we want it and makes us think of all the reasons why we deserve it, and that's the balance. And so they kind of want to trick you into allowing yourself new kinds of pleasure by pretending that they're not going to work enough to get you there, and then once you beg enough, I mean really, really, really beg enough, then they will let you then they will let you reach that peak once you felt like you done died over here, okay? But I do feel they also kind of like the idea of not finishing you and making you finish yourself, because we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed and the Ace, that orgasm there, reversed, them stopping and be like, no, the best thing you never had, right? I'm going to leave you starving. And then you put those together, you get the Nine of Pentacles, making you have to learn how to love yourself, how to please yourself, and to finish that there in front of them. So then they're denying themselves the full pleasure of fully servicing you, which they like to deny themselves. And then you had a taste of this denial that they like, but you are also made to learn to pleasure yourself, because they do like their partner to be more elevated than they are, and they want you to give in to your pleasurable experience. We have putting here balance. Now's the time to find balance. Alchemy is at work. You may find yourself juggling many different aspects, balancing, mixing, and matching until things feel right and fall into place. You may need to try several approaches before you settle on what feels right for you. Balance your inner self and your outer, and you will reach your goals quicker, but work will be required to make it happen. I live my life in balance. All my expectations are met with ease. So they're going to tease you. So they're going to make it seem so difficult and so hard. Some of you have been real sad, that's why, and they're like, okay, we're about to get this sadness out the way. Yes. Yeah, what did I say in their style? They like to draw baths and have to serve. This says warm, relaxing bath, massages, natural surroundings, taking away worries and all of this, allowing sweetness into your life. So they do. They want to literally take away the sadness that, oh, they're gonna really spruce you up. All right, this is their fantasy. They want to do give you some good food. They want to give you this bath. They want to get you just relaxed, feeling protected and safe, and then they want to wind you up, okay, and then they want to say, okay, that's enough. I'm done. And leave you hanging like that hanged man card, right? And their erotical stylings, they're like, you're gonna have to beg harder than that. Are you sure? You sure you really want to be happy? You sure you really want to be pleased? I don't know. And then you're either going to take it into your own hands in one of their versions of this fantasy, or they'll finally give in, and explosions will happen. Listen to advice, think clearly, and intellect. I do think they really like the idea of providing you the means to pleasure yourself, or making you learn, like instructing you new ways to be of service to yourself, because I feel like they're pretty good at that. That's kind of their thing. They might study it a lot. They're good at taking instructions, but sometimes they like to break out and teach the other person what they need to do to be in sync with themselves and pleasure themselves. They also might like to hear, to withdraw until you're cursing them out, because they like to be cursed out a little bit. And so you're mad, cursing them up left and right that they better finish this job, and then act like they don't know what to do until you have to give them all these different instructions. And they're like, no, I don't think that's working. They'll stop, and you're like, oh my God, I'm telling you right now, you better hit me with your best shot. And so they'll say, okay, tell me something else to do. And then they'll start, trying that. No, I don't think that's working. You're like, oh my God. So they're gonna want to tease you, build it up, let it go. Build it up, let it go. You're like, what, you hungry? What? No. No, why? Oh yes. But they want to provide you a safe space, and they want to you both to learn something from each other. Yes, so that is your reading number 4. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'll talk to you soon on another one. Yes, long pick a card today. We're on number 5. Those of you that chose the angel wing, let's get into it and see what your partner's erotic style, or the person you're thinking of erotic style, is, and then afterwards we'll check in and see what their fantasy is about you. All right, we have the Four of Cups. Reevaluate Moon in Cancer. We're currently ready to tell some secrets and stories. So that can be earth energy could be in here as well, Capricorn especially, or Virgo or Taurus. And then we have another card that's tied to both Cancer and Pisces, and sometimes Virgo. So those are the biggest signs, is Virgo, Cancer, Pisces, but any earth sign or water. The Priestess here. Okay, and that was also reversed. So spilling the secrets. This person wants to tell tales and spill secrets. They want to get something they can tell someone else. I feel like quite often they feel like they already have the tea on somebody, so they don't like to just sleep with anybody. Like they're a little bit jaded. They think they're too cool for school. They think that they've had all the experiences that need to be had. Okay, yeah, they just feel like they need a lot of convincing. They're so emotional, like they're beyond emotional when it comes to having sexual relations, that they probably quite often don't even go for it, because when they do, they get so attached, it's like 10 years later and they're still like, oh my gosh, that half experience that we didn't even finish that I had with so and so. So I feel like they might feel like they more than anything give advice to other people on what other people's sex life should be like, but they're not someone who really lets go or releases the energy of all their different sexual encounters. And they probably, you know, kind of boohoo over them a lot, or carry the energy of that and tell other people about these experiences a lot throughout the years. I feel like they're also someone who really holds other people's sexual lives against them. For some people, this person has not, they might even be celibate, or they could be virgins. They could be someone who doesn't really allow themselves a lot of sexual interaction. And so they can really judge other people who are out there living their life. This person might really have either currently or have in the past like been thinking, I'm going to wait until marriage or committed relationship before I get into any sexual relationship. I do feel like a lot of broken promises, a lot of broken hopes and dreams, a lot of like, you know, kind of negative energy around a lot of sexual experiences that happened. So some people in this group, they will just already be to the point now where they won't any longer kind of hold any sacred emotional ties to the sex life, because they feel so jaded. So for those who have felt like, you know, that's enough now, I'm tired of believing in something that never comes to pass, like there's nothing romantic about sex, it's just sex, whatever, they might openly kind of sleep around, even be a bit messy about it, and always want to be talking about other people's lives and stuff. They might be telling you all their ex's business, or so-and-so's, and always be overly concerned. I remember on one comedian's special, he was like, worrying about someone else's sex life is about worrying about how much air everyone else has in their tires. Like, it's none of your business. Like, they're driving, you're like, is that enough pounds of air in their tire? That's this person. Like, they're always worried about what everyone else is doing in their sex life. Oh, did you see they had the nerve to send this, you know, sext to this person, da da da. And I feel like they distract themselves with everyone else's business because they feel like they're not doing enough, or they don't feel fulfilled in their sexual relationships. They feel like others pass them by, or they feel like they lose a lot of opportunity sexually. So this is a very emotional person. They get clingy, they're holding on to you, they're attached, they're you know, wanting to sit there and move stuff into your drawer already, or make themselves overly at home where you're like, oh, you got to go. Did you just clip your toenails in my bed after we just, what's happening? They end up sharing too much. They might talk a lot during sex, or they might just like cry, or be like, they're kind of emotionally awkward or invasive during sexual interactions. They don't seem to be that schooled physically with what they know. As you know, I don't see them as being very intuitive physically with connecting with other people's bodies, because they're so internalized. I feel like if all of this energy was upright, or people, there might be a select, very few, because it's a general reading, that they've learned how to intuitively connect with the other partner. But for a lot of people, I don't see it that way. I feel like they're very emotional, sexual partners who are so much in their head and their own feelings that they're not even fully comprehending and being in the moment of what's happening, and they're just analyzing everything that's happening and relating it to a story that they already told themselves. So if their story is that they get rejected and the partner doesn't like their body and those kind of things, that they're seeing things in their mind that plays into that story as it's happening. So it's a lot. This is emotional baggage central when it comes to sexual relationships with this person. Yeah, I feel like they think that their intuition is speaking a lot of the times, but it's not. It's their fears. They also stay very psychically attached to their sexual partners or people that they want to be interested in. So there's just an energy of invasiveness that I think people, their partners, kind of rebel and try to sneak out from. And then they get upset and they want to kind of carry this negative story or tell this bad image about their partner. So, that's a lot. Hello, Cancer season. That is their erotic styling. Let's see what fantasies they have with you. Okay, these two oracles are coming out reversed, but they we're not quite reading reverse. We'll just note it. We have redemption, absolution, forgiveness, and penance. So, that's what it would look like reversed. We have natural reversed, authentic, real, and organic. So it's like that. And we'll flip it upright. Okay, I'm sitting from the side, so it's hard to see the angle. Okay, we have another one reversed, toffee centered chocolate, change reversed. We leave those little ones alone. Fruit and nut chocolate, flexibility. We have judgment, which is called the Eon in this deck. The decks will be linked down below. We have the Emperor. Okay. And then the songs you got is Gardens, Say It Like That, from SZA. Juiciest by Alicia Keys. And What's It Gonna Be by Busta Rhymes, Janet Jackson. Okay. Now, from all that water card, we can definitely tell this person likes water, and I get that. The juiciness, the water. If you watch What's It Gonna Be, that song is like such a sexy song, and it's all like water with metal was water, like futuristic. It's even futuristic now, and it was made way back when. So yeah, they definitely have this feeling of I don't know, for some reason with you, they feel like they could control the dynamics and do something that's like not natural for both of you, but that it would work. It's almost like for once they don't want to feel sorry for a sexual hookup, or they don't want to feel like they have to apologize or feel awkward. They want to be able to just like get out of doing that and kind of shrinking and feeling embarrassed and try something new and just go with it. They kind of want to be more dominant with you and feel more confident and more cocky, like, okay, it's a new age, like it's time for me to change this up. They're struggling with it because it's not natural for them, but they're wanting to learn, like, to be more dominant. So if you've already been with this partner, you might have heard the first part and been like, what, they're not like that at all. Well, they're trying to show this other face and act like they're Scorpio or Aries or something, come off really dominant, tell you what they like, how they want to say it, ask you what, okay, what's it gonna be? Because the song is gonna make your body wet, gonna make you scream out yes, gonna make you think of naughty things, of me on you and you on me. What's it gonna be? Okay, so they're trying to flip the dynamic of how they normally are in their relationships. Okay, they want you to have to come and be flexible to them for once. They want you to have to come and be like, oh man, it's so hard to change. They kind of want to challenge whatever dynamics there are in the relationship. Like if you are always the one who's right, like they want you to be the one who's not right for once, and they get to be the one who's always right, kind of energy. But yeah, they want to take you outside of your natural dynamic and challenge you in some way, like leave a mark. Kind of like it reminds me of that, like people who are nice don't get remembered in history, or like following the rules doesn't get you remembered in history, that kind of vibe. Like they want you guys together in your experience to just like go to new uncharted waters. Now they're not completely convinced, I'm going to say that they're not completely convinced. That's why they're kind of like, what's it going to be? We're going to do this. But they're trying out cockiness, they're trying out, being the juiciest, as it says in this song. It's basically the song Juicy Fruit back in the day, and then Biggie redid it as Juicy, and Alicia Keys redid it as Juiciest. So in this one, she says, I'm the juiciest baby girl around. I got 999 men knocking around my door because they gotta have sweet now. I'm the juiciest baby girl around, and I don't care if you don't call no more. So there's this idea that they want to reject you. They, instead of saying, like maybe some of you're needing to have like makeup sex or something, they're not wanting to. They want to reject you. They want to, like, I'm not sorry, like I'm a badass, I don't have to be so flexible, I don't have to change. No, this is I'm naturally cool, what are you talking about? And it's so funny because being an astrologer, I see this so often with like Virgo and Cancer and Pisces placements in people, and a little bit Taurus, where they will try to take on this machismo that they naturally don't have in their chart, and they'll try to overcompensate, and they really, really want their lovers to buy into it, and their lovers are like, if you don't quit, like get that weak shit out of here. But they're like, oh, they want so bad to be the dominant one. And so that's the idea here. They want to come home and like be like, boss you around, and like they might even want to play out like they're mad, even if they're not mad, like everything's fine, but they want to like have you like feeling like you're quaking because of an ultimatum, and you got to beg them back forgiveness, and you have to try to apologize to them. How are you going to make it up to them? How are you going to convince them that you don't want them to leave, that you don't want to be thrown out into the rain, like the dramatic? They want the power dynamic. What are you going to do to convince me? Prove to me that you'll serve me well. Basically. So yeah, they want to switch things up. Now for a few, this person does in your relationship act more dominant, and they want to show you behind the scenes all that we saw, that how submissive that they are and can be. But the thing is, they don't want to change up the game too much, because we have the change reversed. So they are nervous about changing. This could also talk about a trip or something. I'm open to change, travel, and new adventures. I trust in my dreams and the guidance I receive. They definitely could be dreaming about you, especially all those water cards we had there. They tend to dream about their sexual partners way before and way after anything happens. Keep an open mind and be patient when it comes to the situation that will cause angst. I told you, they're so dramatic. They want you to be in angst. They want to like break your heart. They do. Look, they want to kind of like make you suffer. What movie was that? It was like The Awful Truth or something like that, and the dude's trying to train the girl how to get a guy, and like, call now, don't call now, all that kind of stuff, but then it was like, no, make him suffer, don't call, don't answer the call. And she's like, suffer, with her fingers, like, suffer. They want that to be, and it's almost like they'll have to stay in the role, like, okay, pretend to storm out, sit there and wait to see if you're brewing in angst and anxiety. Look at things from another's perspective. That's why they want you to look from their perspective. They want you guys to do role reversals too. They want you to do role reversals. I am always open and receptive to new ideas and the opinions of others. Now, it's going to be uncomfortable a bit for both of you, but they kind of want that. But yeah, they want to switch it up and do role reversals. They might even want to take a trip. Like if you guys are currently already kind of established where you are, they might want to like go outside the city or something. Take a little day trip somewhere that's a few hours away, next state or city over or something, and like try it out there, do some role playing. Again, things that are not natural, things that you'll feel like, man, I need to ask forgiveness for this. I feel a little embarrassed. What were we doing out there? And this one, they're dressed up as like some like aliens or something. What's it gonna be? Yeah, so it's like they want to experience that. They want you guys to be held really accountable with each other, like just play back and forth with power dynamics of, you know, if you liked what happened, like you play roles and then you go back to it and see the other one gets to be the boss about how you did. But I really just see them wanting you guys to change up the dynamic, and them mostly wanting to be the ultimate boss of you. Let's see, and see how flexible you can be, how long you can handle it, how far you can stretch. Okay, they might literally want to be posting you up, tying you up, seeing literally how far you can stretch. Okay, what's at the center? We have the center chocolate here, toffee centered. Getting how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? Okay. Yes. And I do see for some of them, they want to like punish you for your exes. They're really stuck on the past. Okay, so there's probably a dynamic for with you guys where either you rejected them or they rejected you. This could be so slight. I mean, this could be petty here, y'all. It really could, where maybe you're like, well, this person didn't accept me at first sight, like I'm the juiciest baby around, and they didn't even, you know, see me like that. They try to go and get with my enemy first. What? So you guys could have something like that that you need to work out. Maybe you guys had separation at some point in your relationship and you guys saw different people, and now there's the feeling of needing to make amends by reclaiming each other. And that plays into this fantasy. Or maybe this person has been thinking that you're their soulmate or something of that nature, and there's some stuff from past lives that need to be worked through, and those are reasons why they would want to kind of reclaim you. Because over here we have redemption, absolution, forgiveness, penance, all of this kind of energy here. And on this card, it's like looking back to past lives, past existences, former forms, the whole eon of your relationship, and needing to get a hold of it, needing to get control on it. Now there's also the energy of wanting to kind of naturally connect. I feel like this person wants to see what you're like without your makeup on, see what you're like without, even I'm getting without your perfume, like without all the additives and extras. They might even be like, what are you like without your wig on, without your hair dyed? Let me get down to the center, right? We have toffee centered candy here. Let me get back down to the like internal, look, I was gonna say internal journey, and it says inner journey right here. Yes, so that's kind of it. They want to cover all grounds. Like, we need to get this shit in order. We got some stuff to work through, okay? We got some stuff to work through, and I want to get to that level where we no longer have this repeating past energy, or we're no longer feeling rejected or like on uncertain ground with each other. And I think that we can work through that sexually. They also might want you to beg for forgiveness. So if you've been wrong, or if you kind of slept on them and, you know, were trying to date their homie first or something like that, or just took a long time, if you guys have like you've been friend zoning them for a long time or something, and now you're trying to get all up in the mix, like you might be like, oh, this is cool that we're so flexible. And they're over here at the emperor like, oh, it's cool that I was flexible. Oh, it was cool. You thought I wasn't going to get you back for being flexible all those years. Oh, especially if it's been like 20 years, 10 years, you know, that you knew this person from college or something, and you're just now getting hip to the jive. They're going to put you through it. They're going to be asking for, you know, you to come through and show you're sorry. How sorry are you? You know, because this person doesn't forget, as we saw with their erotical, I keep saying, I'm just making a word, y'all, erotic styling, that, you know, they're sensitive, they're super emotional, they really hold on to everything, they notice everything, and so they'll definitely want to have times of like working out the whole emotional journey of being upset. Like, it's almost like angry crying sex of, you know, whatever they're going through. They're a real mixed bag over here, fruits and nuts, okay? So it's like they have a whole bunch that they want to work through until they feel more in control, until they feel like, okay, this is the real flow that I can connect with you. But I feel like they want to see, I'm even hearing, what is that? And what does he say? Kendrick Lamar. He's like, show me something natural, like ass with some stretch marks. Like, they want to just, like, what's the natural you? They're tired of the bullshit. They want to get down to the barest, most intense nitty gritty of your life without, I feel like in all ways, like, they don't want any interruptions. They don't want to hear about your day involving other people. There's a possessiveness that comes in here. They don't want to hear about any of the interference. It's almost like this person is tired of interference. They feel like they've had interference between their connection with you, being able to get your attention, to get your eye, to get you to this point. Even when they're fantasizing about you, it's like they're picturing having to do so much to like get you in the bed kind of energy. Let's see, as far as, I mean, I'm pretty much see you. There is energy of the garden. There's natural in the garden here. So they could have some little moonlight garden fantasies, but I see it as being much more like Shakespeare in the garden or like Jane Austen in the garden, versus kind of the option that we had where it was like wild, like intense, ecstatic energy. No, it's not like that. This is more refined. I feel like this person might watch a lot of like The Notebook or something, or like read a lot of romance books, or at different times they do, because sometimes they get so cynical and jaded they can't stand that shit, right? That's not what they're thinking, but sometimes they love that shit. So it depends on kind of what cycle you catch them on, but I feel like they're really romantic on one side, and so they would like to have the scenery, or even like if they work stagecraft on a play or something, like they'd take you to the garden scene in that. But there is kind of a nice outdoor, I'm getting at night usually, or like a kind of, you know, Eden on the park green kind of scenario that they fantasize about, and kind of just seeing you adorned in natural ways there. And then the other side is more you being kind of in their bedroom begging and pleading, and them being in their comfort zone, and you having to be the one to work to get into their comfort zone, and you know, prove that you are bearing it all and you'll do anything. It's like a lot of clasping, like grasping, like very very telenovela, very dramatic, you know, like, oh, like I'm confessing my deepest love, and it's that ultimatum feeling. What's it gonna be? They want to feel on the power side of an ultimatum, where you're just like, no, seriously, I can't live without it. I can't live without you. Like, please be merciful with me. Please, you know, yes, have mercy on me. You're the best thing that's around. Like, they like when you say it like that, okay? That's what they want in this interaction. I feel like this person, once they feel comfortable, I'm seeing a big focus on oral stimulation, like majorly. Yeah, they are very focused on orgasm. So different parts of this reading, some groups, they're not so much focused. Some people are focused on the hunt. Some people are focused on the connection. This one wants the big emotional release. They want to know that they almost have like emotional ownership over you. But once they are comfortable with that, that's when they can kind of relax and explode. It might be hard for them to like have an orgasm if they are not emotionally fulfilled and connected. But once they have that, like, that's their main focus. I feel like they would want to really focus on getting their like oral stimulation and oral pleasure, and having that release. And they also might be very stubborn, like, no, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is what needs to be done. No, you don't flick that way, flick this way. And this could be because a lot of them, I think, have spent a long time masturbating and being by themselves and having very particular ways to do it. So they'll have to learn some flexibility. That's kind of part of their fantasy, is like you helping them be more flexible. But I don't know that it'll be easy for them to enact, because they do have kind of a control issue when it comes to things, because they feel so kind of like messy and unstable, very Cancer kind of energy, very protected, hot mess kind of feeling, need to open up, and might cry while you guys are ongoing, but then also wants to act tough and like the boss in some ways. Yes. it's almost like, is it real if I didn't cry? This person will be really into your facial features. They'll be really into if you're paying attention to them, if you're looking at them, what are you thinking? Why did you say things that way? It's a lot. It's a lot. This person, if you were in a relationship and you were feeling the same soulmate emotional vibe, then it might be in sync for you, and that would feel good. If you are looking for something more casual, you will find this freaking exhausting, I'm sure. So it kind of depends on what kind of event you wanted to have with this person, because they're going to be very focused even when they seem like they're drifting off. It's like they're internally analyzing everything that's happening. What did this message mean? Is this person giving as much as I am? Are they experiencing it the way I want them to experience? That kind of thing. So I see them also kind of apologizing a lot, and kind of getting things wrong, and like having to be told like, you need to chill, like we're just having a good time, stop like doing facial recognition about what you think I'm emotionally processing. Let's just get the deed done. You need to loosen up, like you need this more than I need this, okay? And it might take getting them there multiple times before they will finally release. I do get the feeling with this person too that they can get a bit addictive to it. I think they could, you know, like they would start getting kind of a bit obsessive. I don't know, I get a strong feeling that they probably have water on like the 5th or 8th house, or a water Mars, so around their sexual energy they get emotionally connected. But I think they also like they want that release so much, and they might go through phases of not having it, that they might get a little bit over possessive or a little over eager when it comes to the follow-up sessions, okay, to connect. But basically they want to screw you for every past life they think that you've had together. They want to claim you as theirs emotionally and spiritually, and they really mostly will focus on a lot of oral pleasure and maybe the chest area. I feel like they'll be shy about it, but they want some attention to the chest area, definitely. And just like genital stimulation is like their whole thing, besides making sure that you kind of cry. So that is the reading for this option. I hope that that was informative to you. You know, these readings can be used in so many ways. They can give you ideas. They can help you have some talking points with your partner and open up, or they can help you see like, oh, I would not really match up in a sexual vibrational kind of way with that person's needing or wanting. So yes, use it as you will. I hope it was fun and enlightening in some way. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again soon. Alrighty. And last but not least, we have number 6 with the black seashell with the pokey pokes. We are going to first do what is their erotic style, and then we will go into what they want to do with you. Okay, what's their sexual fantasy with you? So first, their erotic style. Here I have to separate the cards. We have the Ace of Cups reversed, the roots of water. It says it's like a lily pad thing here. Let's see what else we have. The archetype card. We have we always get the unknown cards from this deck, and this one is upright in the light attributes. We have a lot of reversals, more temperance. We have temperance reversed. We have the Knight of Air reversed, which is Gemini. The temperance card is Sagittarius. We also have Three of Wands reversed, which is Aries. Safe harbor, it says. And we have the Hierophant, the Passion of Saints. The time has come to confess your sexual fantasies and glimpse the ecstasy that awaits you. Okay, this person could be very traditional. They have temperance reversed, meaning they might not really identify with any of the kind of hetero or cis kind of setups to certain degrees, or they just have some very traditional values around, especially with the Hierophant echoing this. We have Gemini and Sag reverse, so they're not really into a lot of exploration. Literally, Three of Wands reverse, they're like, exploration, who is that, who knows that, not me, I can't relate. Okay, they yeah, they could be very hard to convince to try new things. Hierophant is Taurus energy, okay? And we have Ace of Cups reversed, so the more stubborn, kind of, I don't want to be vulnerable side of water signs. We do have all elements here. Do we have all water, fire, air, earth? Yes, we do. The strongest though that I'm getting, it's almost like it's saying kind of no to a lot of fire and air energy, and more yes to stubborn, immovable earth, water energy, the way that this person is. They are interested in things that haven't been introduced to them, but nothing, like nothing counterculture, nothing subculture, nothing too out there, nothing too wild. Like to this person, porn might be wild, or they're just very like, you know, oh, let me watch this missionary here or something. Like the most might be just making someone kind of obey you a little bit or something of that nature. This is not a person who really, yeah, they just kind of, they're almost like fantasies are for the mind. They're not for practical like action. It's almost like it could be a waste of time to them to spend too much time on it, or they're like, okay, there's practical that kind of vibe. I don't see them being someone who is overly emotional about sexual interactions. They're not someone who spends a ton of energy on needing to explore it, or like, I have to try every new thing. Did you hear about this thing? Like yeah, like Aries, Gemini, and Sag are super curious and exploratory when it comes to sexual things. They want to know the latest thing. Have you tried it? What was this? Oh my gosh, there's this new term going around. Have you tried that? This new vibrator, all those kind of things. This person's not really interested. They're just like, people have been having sex since the dawn of time. Like that's what humans do. How original can you get? You know, I'm not over here. No, someone's not going to ruin my life because they give me the D. Like they might feel like that they're so good at what they do. They know how it works. It's very practical. Like what more, you know, what more do they need to study or invest in this? Like, come on, people, it's not that difficult, is the kind of attitude that they have. They could have a Capricorn energy to them too, but again, the practical side of that, not the like naughty 50 Shades of Grey side of Capricorn, but the yeah, like been there, done that. Like, how can I be overly excited about something my parents did to make me? Like, how excited do you want me to be about this? It's biology, people. Like, that's like the attitude that they have. You service me, I service you, great, done, little finger, okay. Like that is their take on it. If they have any kind of wild fantasies, it was probably squashed when they were younger in some way, and they're just like, okay, this is what we do now. We have the 9 to 5, we have the picket fence, we don't have sex after we're married, pretty much, after we have kids. Like, it's a little, yeah, a little drab. It's a little drab behind the curtains and of option number 6 here. I was expecting something a little spicier from this one. I don't know why, but I feel like they might have tried to have partners who are more adventurous, and instead of opening up to it, they just realized how much they fucking hate it. Like, this is just so annoying. Like, why are we standing up? Like, why do I have to stand up for this position? Why do I need to recuperate from this session? Like, I should be able to just go to sleep. You know, they just don't want to put in that much effort. Now, if you can do some things and show them a few little new tricks and be of service to them, they might be down for that. They probably like to have their rules, but that's what it is. It's like those Virgos. I've had Virgos that I've known in all different types of capacities, kind of a Virgo thing that can be completely like unable to relax enough to even have sex, like to go through the whole process of having sex, where they just find something to freak out about, like, oh my gosh, I saw something on the sheets, or like, why is your body sweating that way, or like there will just be something. There will always be something, and they have to be in utter control at the exact right time, like to the point that they literally can't even relax and have an orgasm. This person might be someone who does not often have orgasms with the Ace of Cups reversed, because the upright, that's like boom, yes, that's what we want to see. Reversed here though, it's almost like they could benefit. They need to loosen up. They need someone to come and shake those shake those curtains up, okay, so that they can release. But for some reason they have, it could be a religious thing, it could just be a practicality. They could have a very boring chart for sex in their astrology, I guess. I mean, pretty much anything you can work with. And I feel like they have just exhausted, you know, people who have tried. Some of these people have never even had like a ton of partners. Some have had a fair share, but it just never worked. They're just like, no, opposites don't attract. I need someone like me who understands, like, this is just not a main focal point. It's not that serious. Like, they think they're open, and in a way they slightly are, but it's like in small ways that if you're at all interested in sex, like, you wouldn't even notice it as a variation. Like, you literally would not even notice it. This person could think that, you know, going to a higher speed is excessive or something on a vibrator if they use one. So this is definitely the most traditional, the most practical, the most, you know, do the business, get done with it, kind of, yeah, more conservative kind of energy that we've had in the reading. So let's look and see. I'm very interested. Let's see what fantasy they'll let slip through for you. Oops, I'm knocking stuff over here, y'all. We have hope reversed. Oh, gee. Anticipation, bright prospects, and wish. No anticipation, no bright prospects, wishes. Well, they're like cynical. What is this? Cynical. Discipline reverse, training, consistency, practice. Again, they're even boring in their fantasy. Come on now. Patience reverse, because they ain't got no patience for it. What? If y'all don't get out of here. Success reversed. Wow. 5 of Pentacles, worry. I swear I did not even like pick these out by hand. Wheel of Fortune reversed, y'all. Oh my gosh. Someone's got to break the code, okay? Because this person needs help. SOS. SOS. And I don't feel like they are just, maybe for a select few, they could be asexual. They could, where they just, like, they don't care about sex. But I do feel for, like, most people in this group, they are sexually active. They're just, or they're open to being sexually active, but it's just in a very practical kind of way. Want It With You. They got some good songs. They got Faithful by Fora and Southern Man. Okay, so yeah, they could be like super tradish in some ways, where they're like, they could be celibate until marriage. It's almost that feeling like when you grow up in the church. I grew up like super religious when we were younger, and then they like marry you off, and yes, it is being married off. And then like, it's like people, oh, I like that person, I'm gonna get married right away, because that's the only time you're allowed to have the sexual relationship. But then you have the kids, and then it's like, okay, I guess we're pretty much done with that for the most part. What, Christmas, Easter, birthdays or something, and then there's just like, they don't have sex for like 45 years or something, you know. And it's a very common thing, unfortunately, in the world and relationships. It really is. And so I feel like this person has that kind of energy where they're like, they have commitment. They're someone who would, you know, could build a family or have commitment or all of those kind of things, but they're just not somebody who really knows how to have a sex life. They don't even know how to fantasize. They might not know how to please themselves. They could be terrified of STDs. Like, literally, they can't even fantasize right here. They have no hope or imagination or creativity to even think of the prospects. They might not even think that they could have a fantasy with you. um, discipline reverse, because this is what happens. If they start thinking of it, they can think about a relationship, they can think about relationship energy, but when they start thinking about sexual energy, they're like, I have no skills, I wouldn't be successful, I wouldn't be able to get them off, I don't have the patience, why am I even trying to figure this out, this is annoying. Like, what if I caught something, what if they had something, what if, what if it didn't work, what if I couldn't get it up? Like, they just go to every negative thing, and then they're like, this is never gonna happen, or it was horrible when it happened, or they probably hated it, they probably were faking if you guys have had interactions. So this person just does not have a healthy view of sex. They might put on, they're good at kind of faking it. It's very that like housewives, like 50s 60s kind of energy, where it's like we're pretending, or like 40s, that whole Americana kind of feel, where it's like we're pretending that we have this wonderful relationship and everything's great and we're so pleased, and we might be super attractive and super successful, but behind, and that relationship front is good, but behind the scenes, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, I don't know if I was thoroughly pleased with that session, I don't know if my partner was, but I don't even want to try to figure it out. Like, I just don't. So I don't think that they would tell you that they thought it was awful in most cases, unless you really press them. If you're in a long-term relationship, you might know that your love life kind of, your sex life kind of sucks. But yeah, this person just, I think they think that they're good at things. They think that they know how to push certain buttons, but they could be that way where either when they do try new things, they have it gives them supreme anxiety and a lot of worries and stress, and they might just do what you tell them to do if they're the one who kind of serves a little bit. And they're just like, okay, like boom, 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 like punching a key code basically. And if you're the one who is learning their tics, they're very specific. This is what works for me. This is how you do it. They're done. Okay. But it's almost like a lot of times they're doing things with an internal grimace. So, and I just feel like this would be with any partner. They like what they like, maybe within the small realms. Some people in this group, they can be happy with the small area that they are successful in, but really the whole world of sex kind of freaks them out. It's like, yeah, it's just not something that they see as a positive thing, or that they want to spend time on. They would rather spend time on like relationship or even romance a bit, winning you over, being faithful. See, in this song they say she just needs someone that's faithful, and so they're like, do you really need someone who can have a good sex life? So they could be someone who, almost like, I'm feeling like a Cancer rising, like a Capricorn in the 7th house, where it's just more about like having this kind of contract relationship where, this is what works, this is how we want our family, this is where we want to live. Okay, we are nice kind of co-partners of life, that vibe, but not really at all focusing on sexual relationships. Whereas some of the other options, they would have been all about that. Like, if you don't have a sexual relationship with me, like, we can't be friends. Well, some of them, right? We're sleeping around so much. Some of the options, okay, no tea, no shade. But this person is kind of the opposite. This feels like the suburbs, to be honest. This feels like the suburbs. It does. But the side of the suburbs that isn't hiding, the skeezy secrets, the side that truly is just like, feels like they're just painted into a one-dimensional world when it comes to their sex life. So they need to probably invest more time in trying out new things so that they don't worry so much and they feel more confident in like what they can offer someone, and not go into this like despair and worry and hope and think it's going to be awful. Like, of course, if you don't try it, yes, it's going to be awful. They might also have certain health concerns. Some people in this group, they might worry about certain health concerns of yours or theirs, something of that nature. I'm like trying to pull something, okay? But if you want a romantic fantasy, showing their loyalty to you, showing that they are more faithful than the other guy, swooping in, showing that they're the one for you, you know, southern wedding, that whole kind of thing, that they can give you. That is more where they would fantasize about if you are not together, or even if you are together, just kind of having that image in their head that they want to have that kind of life for you. That's more what they focus on. You know, they might just feel like, well, I am in bed with you, of course I love you. That's, you know, we have our expressions, we express, you know, affection in our own ways, kind of thing. And they would be more hoping to have a fantasy of treating you to security and treating you to you know, like faithfulness and longevity in a romantic relationship, or, you know, in a partnership, even if it's not so romantic. But that's where they kind of fantasize more. So don't at me, number 6. I just read the cards, okay? I'm sorry. Make sure you chose well and you were connected with your intuition on this one. But hey, it's very true. And I was actually wondering, because a lot of the readings were pretty out there, and this one was like, bam, traditional and kind of little even anti-sex in that one. So yeah, actually that one has the feeling of someone who's had sex but doesn't even know like all the anatomy and how things work. You're just like, how did you have a kid? Like, I don't understand. So they need some sex education. All right, they might need to get in touch with one of the other numbers here. All right, let me hook you up with boop 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 number 2, get some number 3, number 1. Let me know down below how this reading was for you. It's a long video, y'all. It was a long video, but I have fun. It took me like 4 nights to record this, so it's not getting released on the solstice. It's going to take even longer to edit together and put it up and upload, but I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.